He reprised classic SNL sketch characters like Mr. Robinson, Velvet Jones, and Buckwheat.
Well, we were just talking about addiction.
Right through the show, even dressing up as 90s icon Gumby for a segment of Weekend Update during his opening monologue. Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle all made an appearance. A musical guest for the night, Lizzo. Not bad. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather.
What the fuck is that?
680 News Time, 12:50. Poinsettia, Christmas cactus,
Lizzo. Who the fuck is Lizzo?
ivy, Christmas roses, all say happy holidays in their own way.
And how we designed them at Eton Florist will help you say, I'm thinking of you in your own way.
Who the fuck is Lizzo?
Mr. Morrow.
And I need Philip Paris.
Well, I have to look that up now.
Nothing brightens the holidays like flowers.
I gotta
and
look
they're
that
so
up.
easy to give.
Delivered across town or overseas, they'll be fresh and beautiful. Our family promises.
Oh, around here, crosstown is overseas, damn it.
EtonFlorist.com.
Hello, Alpine Credits.
I own my home. I need money for.
What rhymes with approved?
Is that a word?
Probably not.
Approved.
You own your home, so you are.
Approved. Approved?
Really?
I got this. Okay, I give up.
You are approved.
Own your own home? At Alpine Credits, we try to approve all home equity loan applications, regardless of your credit, age, or income. Alpine Credits. Homeowners get approved. Visit alpinecredits.ca. Fiscal license 12616 and 12617.
680 News Time, 12:51. Time for traffic and weather together on one. Here's Christy Buckhouse.
This report is brought to you by Leon's Furniture. I'm seeing delays on the eastbound 401 from Winston Churchill to approaching Mavis, and on the eastbound 401 at Weston in the collectors.
Bigger than
We still
my
have a
head.
crash
Bigger than
blocking the
Tupac's
red
head.
lane and a piece of the right lane as well. It's slow from the 427, but once you get to the split, definitely stay with the express. It's moving in a lot better shape. Westbound 401 is heavy from Kipling to Dixon, and there's a slowdown west Mavis as well. On the northbound Don Valley Parkway, it's heavy going from approaching Eglinton up towards York Mills. Southbound 404 Don Valley is slow from approaching Shepherd to south of Lawrence. We're trouble-free still on the westbound Gardner-Queenie combination. Some delays, though, on the eastbound QE-Gardner from southbound to Dixie, Humber Bridge to Parkside, and from Jameson to Dufferin. Just lots of motorists heading into downtown this afternoon. Queen Street is closed between Dunn and Lansdowne. That's for an ongoing collision investigation, so definitely an area you want to
Dude got hit by a bus.
Boxing Day sale starts this Thursday. Shop amazing door
Don't know the bus
with
driver's
this very cost-repeated
affiliation,
clean
the man
mattress for only
says.
$227. Quantities are limited. Visit leons.ca for details. Your next report is at 101. And now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Christine, high pressure and a southwest wind bringing us sunshine and mild temperatures today. And if you like the mild air, you are going to just love Monday. Hopefully you have the day off and you can spend some time outside. 8 degrees and sunshine in the forecast. Great travel conditions
From
for you and
minus
for Santa
27
Claus
to 8.
Christmas Eve day, a high of 2 degrees.
35
and
degree
dry.
difference in 6
And
days,
now the
man.
forecast
What
you've all
the
been waiting
fuck?
for. The Christmas forecast. Here we go. Cloudy and 5 degrees. So it won't be a white Christmas, but the positive side, great driving weather. Currently under sunny skies.
You're gonna be
and sitting at
suntanning
guaranteed
for
high both
Christmas,
downtown
man.
and at Pearson. It's 5 degrees.
Coming up at 1 o'clock, the latest on a protest scene you have to see to believe, or at the very least, hear about. A climate activist group shoveled manure onto Doug Ford's Etobicoke office from the back of a pickup truck. We've reached out to the group and to the premier. 680.
Was it a biodiesel truck?
680
If it wasn't a biodiesel truck, I feel you're not really perpetuating the right
and denies your
points
long-term
here.
disability claim. Sound familiar? My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability claim has been denied for any reason, call me at 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, my team of lawyers only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at pound LTD.
You've heard the saying, like a kid at Christmas.
That's how excited we are at 98.1 CHFI.
We can't wait for Christmas. Literally. So we're playing all Christmas music.
Yeah, it's every day.
Christmas is the best time of the year, and we love to bring it to you.
Jingle bell, rock. Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Toronto's Christmas music station is
98.1 CHFI.
In the GTA, there's not very many days left until Christmas, and that means not many days left to the Fair in the Square.
2 days. That's all you have left to enjoy Holiday Fair in the Square, which is happening over at Nathan Phillips Square today and tomorrow.
It's been running for just over 3 weeks now, leading up to Christmas. And my friends, you are running out of time. This month is blowing by, but don't let the rides, the games, the holiday treats, and delicious eats pass you by for this season. Admission is free, and it's actually happening right now and running until 7. Reporting from the streets of Toronto in the all-news Cruiser, brought to you by Don Valley North Toyota, I'm Stephanie Henry.
And coming up in 60 seconds, we'll have your weekend business report. 680 News Time, 12:55.
For 8 days, Toronto glows a little bit brighter as giant outdoor menorahs light up the night sky. As you travel our city, you'll see them at Old City Hall, Nathan Phillips Square, lighting up the foot of Queen's Park. There are some 30 of them around the GTA, shedding light from Niagara Falls all the way up to Aurora. These menorahs have been placed by the Chabad Lubavitch organization to help publicize the message of Hanukkah, the miraculous triumph of religious freedom over oppression. Still, the main celebration of Hanukkah remains a family affair. So in the evening of each of the 8 days of Hanukkah, gather your family and light the menorah, adding an additional flame each night. If you'd like to find out more or for a holiday guide, visit us online.
Add an additional flame each night. You people are like on something.
Steele's Memorial Chapel, wishing you a happy Hanukkah.
680 News Time, 12:56. And time now for the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
Everything closed.
Southern big
Next
business
week,
news
everything
that
closed.
week. When it comes to the silver screen here in Canada, Cineplex, the largest theater chain by far in this country, agreed to a $2.8 billion friendly takeover from Cineworld. This is a UK-based theater company that has been snapping up theaters around the world. It comes as fewer people go to the theater, well, with streaming services becoming more and more popular. Harry Schwartz.
I bet the guys at Cineworld have YouTube Killer on their fucking necks, right?
Producers are left. It's pretty much Disney and nobody else, right? So the movie theaters themselves need to consolidate.
Yeah, there's a fucking gang for you, Disney.
Pricing power, and so the company that's acquiring it is Cineworld, who they acquired, I believe, Regal Cinemas in the U.S., and so now they're going to be the biggest movie theater company in the world, and they'll be able to properly negotiate with Disney because everybody cares about Disney.
They'll be big enough. You sure about that? You sound so confident. They'll be big enough.
Well, I mean, Cineplex is already working on plans to for the theater of the future, which is fewer screens, probably all of them showing Disney movies, more games, more music, more redemption games, better food, other things to do, because
you mean like sitting at home?
Movie going is never going to recover what it was.
No, it ain't, buddy.
But people still need a night out.
Not a $20 a fucking ticket.
You can't just plunk them in front of the TV and watch Netflix all day long.
What the fuck? $20 for a rap show is still $20.
My kids, all they do is watch YouTube. But at the end of the day, you got to do something. So I think Cineplex will survive in the new reality.
That's Barry Schwartz with Baskin Wealth Management. And at the Business Center, I'm Richard Southern.
At Rogers, get business-grade wireless solutions like iPhone XR 64 gig, now $0 on a 3-year business share plan. Visit Rogers.com/plans4biz.
Let's see how this Cineworld versus Netflix plays out.
Hey, Nissan. Now, I may have...
Remember, you don't have to up any money to watch YouTube. Both these guys want your cash, though.
That's perfect, because we've got a real treat for you this Boxing Week. Right now, on select models like Rogue, Qashqai, or Kicks, get an additional $1,000 bonus cash. It's like having your cake and eating it too.
Please, no more cake. I can't.
Get your sweet Boxing Week
for
bonus by
cake and soda,
Nissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. Conditions apply.
Getting you where you need to go
Faster.
The most traffic in Toronto. 680 News. At Rogers, get business-grade wireless solutions like iPhone XR 64 gig, now $0 on a 3-year business share plan. Visit Rogers.com/plans4biz.
You can make more.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Marquee Jewelers. The holidays have arrived at Marquee Jewelers. Get up to 70% off select merchandise for that special someone.
Look, your merchandise is all women's stuff, bro.
Taking a look around the GTA in Brampton, 4 degrees and sunny. Mississauga, 4 degrees, a few clouds. It feels like -1. In Milton, clear skies, 2 degrees. It feels like 0. Heading up north in Erin, clear skies, 2 degrees. It feels like -3. In Orangeville, clear as well, 3 degrees. It feels like -2. Right now, downtown Toronto, a beautiful December day on the first official day of winter. 4 degrees.
Bright as
and
fuck out there.
680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day and always be in the know. Find out how to hear us on your smart speaker at 680news.com. At a single tone, it's 1 o'clock.
For breaking news, traffic, and weather, this is 680 News. Toronto.
Here are Cam Doris and Asher Roth.
Good afternoon. This is Sunday, the 22nd of December. Here's what's making news right now.
An early Christmas present has been dropped in front of Doug Ford's constituency office. The catch? It's a pile of manure.
It's a winter.
No, I know
wall.
Doug. He's gonna plant tomatoes in that damn manure and mushrooms and weed and save the money on the fertilizer. You guys have no idea who you're fucking with.
How about heading down to Yorkville Village for a menorah?
You guys have no idea who the fuck you're fucking with, eh?
Toronto's Distillery Christmas Market closes its gates for the year this evening.
The Raptors are home today against Dallas, and it's another busy day in the NFL. Sports at 15. And coming up in business, a new initiative is trying to take the pressure off the end of year deadline for Canada's payroll professionals. We're from an expert on how it can help employers avoid a financial hit.
680 News Time 101. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. And with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports, here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Salvation Army. We have 2 collisions now on the 401. Westbound 401 west of Yonge in the Express. The left lane is blocked. We have emergency crews on scene. It's heavy going approaching the 400 in the Express across to Dixon, and westbound 401 bunches up through Mavis. Eastbound 401 is slow go from Winston Churchill to approaching Mavis, and eastbound 401 at Weston in the collectors. We still have the remains of this collision here, blocking the right lane and ramp lane. Looks like they're just getting set to clear it away right now. Northbound Don Valley Parkway has filled in from north of Don Mills to York Mills, and it's a busy drive on the south 404 Don Valley from approaching Shepherd to south of Lawrence. No problems on the westbound Gardner, westbound QEW, just a bit slow through the Ford plant area. Eastbound QE Gardner is heavy approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, Humber Bridge to Parkside, approaching Jameson to Dufferin, and Queen Street remains closed from Dunn to Lansdowne for a collision investigation. Wildfires in Fort McMurray, flooding in Ottawa, or an empty dinner table at Christmas. The Salvation Army will be there because everyone needs an army. Donate this holiday season at salvationarmy.ca. Your next report is at 1:11. And now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Christine, winter has arrived, and it's just a gorgeous day to welcome it in. High pressure bringing us sunshine. You'll need the sunglasses today, and a southwest wind gusting 30 to 40 kilometers an hour is drawing in that mild air, and that is why we are well above our seasonal daytime high of 0, and that trend continues into Monday with sunshine and a high of 8 degrees. Currently under sunny skies and sitting at our guaranteed high both downtown and
remember, these are Canadians. 8 degrees right now is like 25 or 30 in the summer. They're walking around in shorts and t-shirts right now, man.
Well, probably not the gift Doug Ford was hoping for this holiday season, calling his climate plan total crap. An environmental activist group has dumped a pile of manure, literally, outside the Premier's Etobicoke constituency office. 680's Jordan Reed is following the
Well, at
story.
least they didn't go to his
Live with
house.
The latest, Jordan.
Cam, the pile of manure is still there. There's even a video posted on Twitter where you can see 2 men shoveling the waste from a truck. They also posted
Didn't even have a
signs
dump
on the
truck?
window that read,
Wow.
"The climate action program is a load of crap." And not to panic because the manure is organic. Now, this was led by Cameron Top and the Extinction Rebellion. They call themselves an environmental movement that are non-violent. I've reached out to Cameron to get comments, but in the meantime, he posted on his website, quote, "The Ford conservatives based their climate change strategy on lies and crackpot theories rather than scientific fact." Now, I have also contacted Doug Ford Premier's office for comment on the manure matter.
He's cutting shit out either on this side or on that side.
Reporting
Motherfuckers.
live, I'm Jordan Reed.
680 News Time, 1:04. Breaking news from Queen West. A man has been sent to hospital after being struck by a bus. It happened at around 11 this morning at Queen West and Dunn Avenue. Constable Craig Brister says there are some road closures as a result.
Now, ambulance was at the scene. One
close
was
Queen
transported
Street
to the hospital with injuries. We're still waiting for an update on what the extent of his injuries are. Currently, we have a closure right now, both east and westbound Queen Street. From Dunn Avenue to Lansdowne while police are on scene investigating that.
No word yet on whether any charges will be laid. Stay with us for more on this developing story. 680 News Time, 1:04. 2 men are in hospital after an East York shooting. 680's Leah Johansson has the latest on the investigation.
Both victims are recovering in a trauma center with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Officers were initially called to the area of Overley and Thorncliffe Park Drive just before 8:30 last night. Constable Edward Parks says officers are now searching for the suspects involved.
There were several people seen fleeing the area. At this time, there's no description of suspects, and we are going to be...
You're going to say, what the fuck are you looking for? Without a fucking description.
Information to come forward. I'm Leah Johansson.
He's looking for guys. Probably. Maybe it's a girl. We don't know.
Here,
The fuck?
even though it may not feel like it. Or Michelle Mackey has more on.
You guys shoot anybody today? No? Okay.
Winter has arrived, and so too has a big winter warm-up. Temperatures are well above seasonal for the first few days of the season. In fact, these highs are typical of what we see in early spring. If you love mild air, then you're going to love Monday's forecast. 8 degrees and sunshine. As we move into Tuesday, closer to seasonal with a high of 2. Dry weather means great traveling conditions on the roads and in the sky. So good news for Santa. We're not expecting any air traffic delays for him. And then as we look to Christmas Day, 5 degrees and cloud cover. Mild weather means we are unfortunately going to see a green Christmas. But hey, great news for travelers.
Hey, that's still 2-3 days away. You don't know what the fuck's coming. Don't even say
The
that.
government has named a third expert to conduct a review of a Toronto area school board facing allegations of racism. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says lawyer Sean Richard will join the existing team that's examining the Peel District School Board in response to public criticism that none of the existing reviewers were black. Richard is an expert in family and estates law and is past president of the Canadian Association of Black Lawyers. Suzanne Herbert and Ina Chala were previously appointed to the review. The team has been asked to produce an interim report before the end of the year and a full review by the winter of 2020.
680 News Time, 1:07. This portion of the news is brought to you by Toys R Us. Well, today, Jewish families across the GTA and all over the world are participating in a festive tradition. 680's Zach Bodenstein explains the city is doing their part in honoring the annual occasion.
The Hanukkah spirit is certainly in the air. That's Boys to Menorah on the Late Late Show with James Corden, but they're not the only ones celebrating. Reverend Mayor Dabrowski of the Yorkville Jewish Center.
In our second annual Pillars of Light Hanukkah project, we've reached out to students from across the GTA and asked them how they could bring light and goodness into the world this Hanukkah. It's been amazing to see how many notes have been filled out and how beautiful they are. We are taking those notes and hanging them up on pillars throughout the Yorkville village.
Dabrowski adds that not just students, but all are welcome to come out and write a note on how they can bring light and goodness to the world. Our weather specialist, Michelle Mackey, says
Stop being a
should be
dick.
seasonal for the 5 p.m. menorah lighting in Yorkville.
So if you wear a jacket, you'll be nice and comfortable and not much of a wind chill either. It'll just be feeling around the freezing mark to -1.
I'm Zach Bodenstein.
680 News Time, 1:07. A popular Christmas market in Toronto coming to an end today. 680's Meg Black has more on what you can do before it closes.
Today is your last chance to visit Toronto's Distillery Christmas Market, a holiday staple. If you have yet to go or need another Christmas fix, grab your friends and family and head over today. Enjoy live performances, including carolers and dance acts, ride the Ferris wheel, and of course, pop into Santa's house. Now, foodies, you're in luck. You can taste a number of traditional
That's Santa made house
street style
calls.
food, as well as traditional Canadian holiday staples. You will not leave hungry. The market closes tonight at 9 p.m. So get moving. I'm Meg
.680 News Time, 1:08. Christmas parties are in full swing. A lot of homes filled with friends and family and scared and nervous pets because of the noise and the number of people. Our Jennifer Holman speaking with an expert from Dogtopia on how to relax those pets.
There are a few things to remember when planning a party and decorating your house, according to Anita Samadian, a regional developer with Dogtopia. First, be aware of the food you're putting out for guests.
There's some ingredients that you want to be aware of which are toxic to dogs. Chocolate being a big one, which most people know about, but also grapes, as well as avocados.
Second, how do you keep your dog calm with all the noise and more people than they're used to?
Pepper them out. So we really recommend taking them out for an extra walk, a hike.
And finally, she says a good idea is to decorate above where your dog or cat can bite.
Poinsettias are actually quite poisonous to dogs. So if you do
Some of these dogs can reach up to here, eh?
them on
The fuck?
a fireplace mantle or another high spot.
I'm Jeff Roho-Ho-Homan.
680 News Time, 109.
Happy holidays, everyone! It's Megan, Chief Play Officer at Toys R Us. Have you ever seen 20,000 toys all in one place? At Toys R Us, you'll find anything and everything that kids like me could wish for. Right now, you can buy one, get one 50% off on all regular price toys in store. Plus, find great half-price daily deals all week long. Some exceptions apply. And did you know we have toy experts to help you pick out the perfect present that will make your kids squeal with joy? So visit your closest Toys R Us store.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Pro predicts the price of gas will stay the same at midnight, holding it just under $1.19 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next.
This Christmas morning, log on to AaronwoodFord.com for this year's best gift. Aaronwood's famous Boxing Week Blitz is coming. Huge inventory, no admit fees, amazing year-end prices, plus up to $2,000 in Aaronwood bonus spots on every vehicle at AaronwoodFord.com.
Some of these bastards are charging money just to come in and look. That needs less money to spend. Fuck that.
Free shop at AaronwoodFord.com. Sale starts Boxing Day at 9 a.m.
Calling all CAA members. You can earn 20% more Petro points when you link your Petro Points card to your CAA membership card. Don't forget, you can also exchange your Petro points for CAA dollars, which can be redeemed towards your CAA membership renewal, gifting a membership, booking a vacation with CAA travel, purchasing movie and attraction tickets, and more. Visit caasco.com/PetroPoints and start earning more today.
680 News Time, 111. Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by TSC. Eastbound 401 remains slow from Winston Churchill to Manus, and eastbound 401 at Weston and the collectors. We had a collision here. It's still here, as a matter of fact. It's just blocking a piece of the ramp lane and shoulder. It's still slow from the 427 over to Weston Road. Looks like both collectors and express are busy now. Westbound 401 is heavy approaching Yonge 2 Avenue Road, express and collectors, and there's a crash westbound 401 west of the 400 in the express in the left lane, so it's jamming things up from approaching the 400 express to west of it. Northbound Don Valley Parkway is slow go from north of Don Mills to York Mills, and busy volume on the south 404 Don Valley from Shepherd to south of Lawrence. Westbound Gardner is slow, but just in that construction zone from the Don Valley Parkway to Cherry, then it lets up nicely. Westbound QEW is busy from Dixie to west of Cawthra. We have volume delays on the eastbound Gardner Queenie from approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, Humber Bridge to Parkside, approaching Jameson to Dufferin as well. A collision now westbound 16th Avenue approaching Kennedy is blocking the left turn lane as well as the left lane, according to a traffic spotter. And we still have Queen Street closed from Dunn to Lansdowne. That's for a collision investigation. The savings start early at TSC's pre-Boxing Week clearance. Shop new markdowns on your favorite brands, plus get 12 easy pay payments on all electronics.
That's not an intersection where people jaywalk, typically. If you jaywalk there, you're asking to get hit.
And now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey. Christine, it's a sunny and mild first full day of winter. We have a southwest wind gusting 30 to 40 kilometers an hour, but hey, I'll take the breeze because it is responsible for pulling up this mild air mass. And if you like it mild, you are just going to love the forecast tomorrow. 8 degrees and sunshine. Closer to seasonal Christmas Eve day at 2 degrees and dry, so great traveling weather. We're currently under sunny skies and sitting at our guaranteed high, both downtown and at Pearson. It's 5 degrees.
680 News Time, 113.
This just in to 680 News. Police west of the city are investigating after two men were seen fleeing after crashing their car into a tree. It happened just before 1 this afternoon at Aquitaine Avenue and Montevideo Road. That's near Winston Churchill and Britannia, actually near Winston Churchill and Derry Road. Now, two men were seen fleeing the scene. They're both described as being between the ages of 18 and 20 years of age. Stay with 680 News for the latest on this developing story.
At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365. Now just $119.99 a month
5 days.
term. Visit rogers.com/internet for biz.
35 fucking degrees.
Some holiday deals on the internet sound good. Half-price invisible unicorn? Sold. But when you think about them, empty. You got me again, internet. Not so much. Get a great holiday deal you don't have to think about at the Bring Home a Honda event. Lease the new 2020 Honda Civic LX for just $65 weekly at 3.99% and $0 down, including a $750 Honda bonus. Includes freight and fees for 60 months. Taxes extra. OAC. See HondaOntario.com. Bring Home a Honda. No thinking required. At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365. Now just $119.99 a month on a 3-year term. Visit rogers.com/internet for biz.
You can make
Fucking News Radio. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? How the fuck am I supposed to type with that?
It is a beautiful day across the city. Just a few clouds in the sky and 5 degrees. Good afternoon. From the 680 News Broadcast Center, I'm Asher Roth. Thanks for joining us. Here are the top stories this hour. Making a statement, an environmental activist group has left a pile of manure outside Premier Doug Ford's constituency office in Etobicoke as a move to protest the government's climate action plan. The group behind it, which is called Extinction Rebellion, has left a statement on their website, and they have yet to respond to a request for comment from 680 News. Neither has the Premier's constituency office.
I thought they were nothing more than a Facebook page. Did you Facebook message them? Did you try Messenger?
Crashed into a tree at
you gotta do Super Bowl.
Montevideo Road. 2 men between the ages of 18 and 20 were seen fleeing the area. And we're also following breaking news from Queen West, where a man has been rushed to hospital after being struck by a bus. It happened at Queen and Dunn. There are road closures in place. Queen is currently closed between Dunn and Lansdowne for the investigation. Time now for 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Good afternoon, Brent Gunning.
Good afternoon, Asher. The Raptors are home this afternoon trying to run their win streak to 5 when they host the Mavericks. Luka Doncic is not playing. He's still sidelined by a sprained ankle. You can watch on Sportsnet 1 or listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan starting at 3:30. There are 7 early games in the NFL. A few with scores have the Jets up 7-0 on the Steelers. The Colts lead the Panthers by the same margin, while the Falcons are up 14-0 on the Jags. There will be 4 more games that are getting going in the 4 o'clock hour before the Bears and Chiefs close out the night. Wings forward Robbie Fabry is fined by the NHL for his spear on Alex Kerfoot in last night's Leafs win. Tomorrow afternoon, the Leafs will be home to the Hurricanes for a 2 o'clock start. And 4 games today in the NHL. That includes the Rangers leading the Ducks 3-1. Sports 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home at Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 117.
This one is a long calculator, but it does not have the temperature conversion.
Like friends, coworkers, and even know-it-all cousins. $1 from every purchase of our holiday merchandise supports Tim Hortons Foundation Camps. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Available to participate in restaurants for a limited time. At Mazda, we believe if something ends, it's really the beginning of something new. So as this year ends, begin a new journey in a new Mazda with available iActive all-wheel drive at the Mazda year-end event. Right now, you can receive 0% purchase financing on select models, or up to a $1,500 year-end event bonus on other select Mazdas. Plus, Mazda's unlimited mileage warranty. Hurry in. The Mazda year-end event is over January 2nd. Visit your Mazda dealer or Mazda.ca today. Tim Hortons makes holiday shopping easy, no matter who's on your list. Like friends, coworkers, and even know-it-all cousins. $1 from every purchase of our holiday merchandise supports Tim Hortons Foundation Camps. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Available to participate in restaurants for a limited time.
Fahrenheit.
You're listening to All News Radio. This is 680 News at 1:18. 69 Canadians are giving up their holiday here at home to join the battle for the first time against the deadly wildfires devastating vast areas of several Australian states. Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre Executive Director Kim Connors says a contingent of 21 highly trained staffers left Canada on December 3rd, and a second group left on Thursday. Another 18 are due to leave on the 30th, and Connors says the crews come from right across the country.
So they're wildland fire specialists, and they are mostly involved in operations, in aviation, planning, logistics, and fire behavior analysts.
Record high temperatures and strong southerly winds are fanning more than 100 fires in New South Wales alone. Well, North Korea says its leader Kim Jong-un has held a key meeting of the ruling Workers' Party. Reporter Jennifer Eccleston explains.
The alleged aim of the gathering is to determine steps to bolster the country's military capability.
It comes amid speculation that the North could abandon diplomacy with the U.S. There are concerns that Pyongyang will launch either a long-range missile or a satellite-carrying rocket if the U.S. doesn't accept its demand for new incentives to rescue the faltering nuclear negotiations by the end of this year. And international relations experts say few global separatist movements serve as encouraging examples for Westerners who want to secede from Canada. The term Wexit gained traction after the federal Liberals were re-elected back in October, but they were reduced to a minority, being shut out of Alberta and Saskatchewan. The Wexit movement has branches in the 4 westernmost provinces and aims to push for a referendum to split from Canada. Brock University political scientist Paul Hamilton says secession rarely happens in democratic governments.
You rarely get the level of persecution that would lead to a demand for secession in a democratic state, because you've got charters, you've got elections, you've got avenues to address grievances that don't require a radical move.
Now, Alberta Premier Jason Kenney has rejected separating from Canada, but his government is examining ways to get the province more autonomy from the federal government. 680 News Time, 1:20.
The holidays are coming faster than Santa's sleigh. They'll be here before you know it. If you want to pay down some bills and simplify things heading into the new year, and even free up some money for the holidays, consider a consolidation loan from PrudentFinancial.net. Use the equity in your car or home to borrow up to $35,000 the same day. Go to PrudentFinancial.net and apply today. Wishing you and yours a magical holiday season. PrudentFinancial.net.
The season of one-horse open sleighs has got a lot more powerful. Now experience the exhilaration of controlling a whole stable under your hood. And with Lexus's December to Remember event, there's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a Lexus.
Lease a 2020 Lexus RX 350 for as low as 2.9% APR with delivery credits up to $2,000. Visit LexusGTA.ca or your Toronto area Lexus dealer.
680 News Time, 1:21. Traffic and weather together. Here's Christine.
This report is brought to you by New Life Fertility Center on the eastbound 401. We still have a slowdown from east of Winston Churchill to Mavis. And on the eastbound 401 at Weston Road in the Collectors, there's the remains of a crash here blocking the right lane as well as the right shoulder. And it's slow from the 427 over to Weston, both Express and Collectors. Westbound 401 filling in approaching Yonge 2 Avenue Road, Express and Collectors. And on the west 401 west of the 400 in the Express and Collision, still blocking that left lane, so it's slow from west of Kiel to west of the 400 in the Express rather. You might want to stay with the Collectors instead. Northbound Don Valley Parkway, slowdowns from north of Don Mills to York Mills, and busy as per usual. Southbound 404 Don Valley from Shepherd to south of Lawrence. Westbound Gardner, a bit of volume from the Don Valley Parkway to Cherry through that construction, but once you pass that, it does open up nicely. And westbound QEW is busy from the 427 to west of Pure Ontario. You'll find volume delays eastbound on the QE Gardner through 3rd line. approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie from the Humber Bridge to Parkside, approaching Jameson to Dufferin. Westbound 16th Avenue approaching Kennedy had a collision blocking the left lane as well as the left turn lane. Trying to get pregnant? Call New Life. New Life Fertility Center is Canada's leading and most affordable fertility center with 7 GTA locations. Call for a free consultation, newlifefertility.com. Your next report is at 1:31. And now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Christine, well, this is a very exciting extended forecast because, hey, we're talking about Christmas. High pressure and a southwest wind bringing us sunshine and mild temperatures today. And if you like the mild air, you are going to love Monday. 8 degrees and sunshine. And great travel conditions for both you and Santa Claus Christmas Eve day. A high of 2 degrees and dry weather. And now the forecast you've all been waiting for, Christmas Day, cloudy and 5 degrees. So it won't be a white Christmas, but the positive spin, great driving weather. We're currently under sunny skies and sitting at our guaranteed high both downtown and at Pearson. It's a mild 5 degrees.
Me and this F-150, we are in it for the long haul.
Oh yeah? What about costs like insurance, maintenance, fuel?
No problem. It just won an award for lowest cost to own in its class, 5th year in a row.
Wow, sounds like you really love your truck.
Yeah.
Get the Ford F-150, the truck with the Vincentric Award for lowest cost to own in its class. Now during the Ford year-end event, get up to $10,500 in rebates on select new 2019 F-150 models. Get the truck that's built for the long haul. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
Coming up at 1:30, an early Christmas present for the Premier, likely not one he wanted. An environmental activist group has left a pile of manure outside Doug Ford's Etobicoke constituency. Our Jordan Reed will have the details at the bottom of the hour. 680 News Time, 1:24.
At 680 News, we know weather.
How did I reach 6 people on a post on a page with no people on it? No promotions. I don't know who these people fucking are, man. It's fine on me.
Vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in December for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for 2 at the Grand Memories Splash in Punta Cana.
Located near Bavaro Beach with one of the largest water parks, you can enjoy excitement and relaxation with 24-hour room service and 7 enormous water slides.
The 680 News weather guarantee with Sunwing at the Grand Memories Splash
at 680news.com.
All Christmas news coming up next.
At Rogers, a new year means new possibilities for your business. When you choose business-grade internet solutions, keep your internet constantly connected with our wireless LTE backup network. And for a limited time, get Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365 for just $119.99 a month on a 3-year term. Don't miss out. Call 1-866-ROGERS-6 or visit rogers.com/internet for biz. Rogers, make more for your business possible.
You can make more.
I'm off the medications and I feel great because
Me too, buddy.
It's making me sick. And you can too. I'm Pat Carano, a 51-year-old accounting professional from Woodbridge. Sleep apnea, sciatica, I had it all until I lost the weight and kept it off with the team at Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men.
Don't miss 20% off 2020 memberships. New members only. Call now, 416-222-9887. HarveyBrooker.com.
If you could do it alone.
Man wanted for sexual assault near Sherburne and Dundas.
Time for all Christmas news at 25 past every hour, brought to you by the Scott Mission. Well, if you go back a couple centuries, there's a good chance your ancestors never put up a Christmas tree. 680's Jim Benny has more.
No, they just sort of grew out of the ground, motherfucker.
Says the tree was a German invention from the 1500s that arrived in England during the Victorian age.
Queen Victoria is part of the House of Hanover, and the House of Hanover is of German background. So those people, like Queen Victoria, would marry a spouse from Germany, who is Prince Albert. And guess what? He brings a Christmas tree out of his tradition.
Your weirdo husband just brought a tree inside.
Victoria, everybody wants to do what that family does, and off we go.
He's told SomethingYouShouldKnow.net the Christian St. Nicholas morphed into a gift-giving elf, and the version we see today came from Coca-Cola magazine ads.
Yeah.
I'm Jim Benton.
Yes, thank you. Third expert named to review racism at Peel District School Board.
Time for your weekend business report.
Police officers
Before the end of the year,
nabbed for
Canada's payroll
speeding.
professionals have a tight deadline to meet to ensure we still have money in the bank. In an effort to take some of that pressure off, the Canadian Payroll Association is praising the Canada Revenue Agency's new payment on filing initiative, which gives qualifying employers the opportunity to file the final reconciliation remittance of the year on February 28th instead of the beginning of January. Peter Xanatakis, president of the Canadian Payroll
Woman
Association,
killed
says
in West End
it's not this
assault.
time of
I
year
didn't
for
hear
payroll
about this till
professionals
just now.
to report accurately and on time, which can come with consequences.
As a result, employers were paying substantial penalties and interest on late payments. The previous requirement meant larger organizations often had to also overestimate remittances on taxable benefits to try to avoid these interest and penalties, and these were in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Also, organizations would end up dealing with the time needed to request a refund for overpayments, which triggers other costs and then potentially internal and government audits as well.
He adds that even though these initiatives are a small change, they have a big impact.
Is really helping employers deal with the administrative burden, administrative costs, so that we can actually streamline some of the administrative burdens without actually impacting the amount of money that they collect on an annual basis.
When it comes to how the country is working to help Canadian employers with this, Xanatakis says he's hoping to see more of a harmonized approach.
Revenue Quebec has announced an administrative extension for select employers until mid-January, which means penalties are waived at that point, but interest charges will still apply. So we're hopeful that the Quebec government moves towards a harmonized approach with the Canada Revenue Agency initiative, which would be very helpful for those employers with staff in Quebec where they're filing 2 tax returns.
Peter Xanatakis is the president of the Canadian Payroll Association. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnett.
It's your December Casino Rama Resort concert announcement. Honeymoon Suite at Prism, February 28th. Chilliwack and Streetheart on March 13th. Frankie Valley, March 21st and 22nd. April 10th and 11th with the Beach Boys. Melissa Etheridge, April 17th. Local legend Gordon Lightfoot performs April 18th. Illusionist Rick Thomas, April 24th. Charlie Pride on April 25th. And Ringo Starr and his All-Star Band, May 29th and 30th. Buy tickets now through Ticketmaster. More information at CasinoRama.com.
Husband? Check. Sister? Check. Mother-in-law? Check. You've covered everyone on your gift list already? In record time, too. Found it all in one place at tsc.ca. Wow, what did you get? This Smeg hand blender for my sister. Bose Bluetooth audio sunglasses for my guy. And a Thomas Sabo watch for his mom. Nice. And with all the exclusive offers at TSC, I can treat myself to something special. Ooh, maybe that cute Brian Bailey tunic. Everyone's going to be happy this year.
Give the gift of joy this season. Visit tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Newmarket. Right now, enjoy savings on 2019 and 2020 models at Mercedes-Benz Newmarket, with rates from 0.49% and 3-month payment waivers.
Las Vegas overcast and 8 degrees. San Francisco clear and 10. Downtown Toronto clear and 5. 680 News Time 1:30.
We're almost as warm as San Francisco and Vegas right now. Seriously?
Toronto, this is 680 News.
That looks. Oh, it's 8 degrees. It doesn't sound that warm. It's as warm as San Francisco and Vegas. What the fuck?
22nd of December. Here's what's making news right now.
A pile of manure dropped in front of Doug Ford's constituency office. 680 News talks to the man leading the protest.
Breaking news from Mississauga. Police are on the hunt for 2 young men after a car crashed into a tree. Both people took off.
Police investigating after a man was struck by a bus in Parkdale. His injuries, though, considered minor.
Winter is here. So is a warm.
You made the news and there was no bullets
For
involved.
the first few days of the season, and Christmas is looking green.
Okay, where is
The
the
Raptors
sexual
trying to stay
assault?
hot. They're at home this afternoon, and there's 7 on the go now in the NFL. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, data shows unconscious bias and stereotypes could be holding women back. But there is hope for the future thanks to the next generation.
680 News Time 1:31. Time for traffic and weather. Together on one. Here's Christine Lycos.
This report is brought to you by Viva Next. Eastbound 401 is slow from Winston Churchill to Mavis, 427 to Weston. Express and collectors. Problems at Weston in the collectors they've been cleared away, so everything is starting to ease somewhat. Westbound 401, a delay approaching Yonge 2 Avenue Road, Express and collectors. And west of the 400 in the Express, another problem here has been cleared away. It's slow from west of Keele in the Express. Northbound Don Valley Parkway, typical delays north of Don Mills to York Mills, and volume south on the 404 Don Valley from approaching Shepherd to south of Lawrence. You'll find it busy on the westbound Gardner Queenie from the DVP to Cherry, 427 to west of here, Ontario. It's also busy on the eastbound QE Gardner through Royal Windsor, approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, from the Humber Bridge to Dufferin. Don't forget we have Queen closed from Dunn to Lansdowne. That's for a collision investigation. It's the season of giving in Richmond Hill and Newmarket, and your local shops and businesses can help you find what you're looking for. Stop, shop, and dine on Yonge Street, Richmond Hill, and Newmarket. Visit vivanext.com. Your next report is at 1:41. Now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Christine, winter has arrived, and it's a gorgeous day to welcome in the season. High pressure bringing us sunshine, and a southwest wind gusting 30 to 40 kilometers an hour, drawing up some mild air, and we are well above where we should be for this time of year, which is 0. Monday, even warmer, 8 degrees the daytime high, and more sunshine in store. We're currently under sunshine and sitting at our guaranteed high, both downtown and at Pearson. It's 5 degrees.
680 news time, 1:33. Calling it a putrid-smelling act of protest, an activist group has dropped a stinky message in front of Premier Doug Ford's Etobicoke office. 680's Jordan Reed is following this story closely and joins us live with all the details. Jordan?
Asher, this is in response to Ontario's Auditor General effectively declaring that the Conservative Action Program is a load of crap. And the Extinction Rebellion took that message quite literally. They drove to a farm in Hamilton, bought the organic manure off a farmer, drove to the Constit's office, and, well, you know the rest. You can watch a video of the two men shoveling the waste onto the driveway on Twitter, and you can see pictures on 680 News' website. Now, I just spoke with Cameron Top, spokesperson of HR. Here's what he has to say.
Families and children are being attacked, quite literally, by this government. There's no longer a day or a week to wait. We have to be acting very seriously this year to have any hope of averting catastrophic climate change. People are no longer prepared to be polite about it.
He also said that it was a lighthearted, non-violent protest and even called it a prank. I asked him, what's the favorable outcome?
What we're hoping is to galvanize enough people to
pranks don't fly in this city, man.
Climate programs around Canada and the world.
Can we expect manure to be in any other parts of the city?
Could be.
I reached out to the city, and a representative from Doug Ford's Premier's office says they should get back to me shortly with their response on the manure matter. Reporting live, I'm Jordan Reed.
680 news time, 1:35. Breaking news from Mississauga, where police say there's been a single vehicle crash in Winston Churchill and Dairy Road area. The police say a vehicle crashed into a tree just after 1 o'clock. 2 men were seen fleeing on foot, described as white, between the ages of 18 and 20. Police are still investigating. No word yet on any road closures in the area. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story. A pedestrian from the city's West End has been struck by a transit vehicle. Police say the incident happened near Queen West and Dunn Avenue. Officers are investigating. There are road closures in place. Queen closed between Dunn and Lansdowne. It is not known at this time how badly injured the victim is or whether or not any charges are going to be laid. More gunfire in the city, this time in East York last night. Toronto police say they're searching for 2 suspects while 2 men...
Fucking 45 fucking minutes.
Johansson has the latest.
Witnesses say several people were spotted running away, but police have not yet released any details about possible suspects. It happened at Thorncliffe Park Drive in Overlea, just west of
Yeah, that's what it says right there, too.
8:30 yesterday evening. Constable Edward Park says both victims are expected to survive.
At this time, they're saying that the injuries are serious, but not life-threatening.
He says anyone with information is asked to contact police. I'm Leah Johansson.
680 News Time 136. Toronto police are asking for help identifying a suspect after a woman was sexually assaulted in Cabbagetown. Officers say a 22-year-old was walking the area of Sherburne and Dundas yesterday morning just after 4:30. She was approached by a man with a knife. Suspect
It's not Cabbagetown, man.
Forced her into an alley where she was then sexually assaulted. Police say they believe the suspect is armed and dangerous.
It's not fucking Cabbagetown.
1:37. Though it's technically the first day of winter, we're getting a warm streak across the GTA. 680's Michelle Mackey has more on what you can expect during the first few days of winter.
Average high for this time of year is 0. Today's high, 5 degrees. High pressure and a gusty southwest wind bringing in that mild air, and it sticks around through Monday, warming up to 8 degrees. That's where we should be early spring. Great traveling conditions Christmas Eve with a high of 2 and dry weather, but it means Christmas conditions are looking green in the GTA. Looking for a white Christmas? Head to BC. The coastal mountains east of Vancouver just picked up more than 1 meter of snow this week.
You fucking serious? Holy.
137 tonight.
March the first night of Hanukkah, an 8-day celebration in the Jewish religion. 2 major events in the city to celebrate the occasion include an art installation in Yorkville and a giant menorah lighting at Mount Lassman Square. 680's Zach Bodenstein has more.
Okay, think of it this way. Your cell phone battery is at 10% for 8 straight days and doesn't die. Now you understand Hanukkah, which means dedication in Hebrew. The real story is a miracle, overcoming adversity, defeating a corrupt king, and regaining control of their temple. Oil that was supposed to burn on the menorah for 1 day ended up lasting 8, allowing the Jews to make more oil and keep the flames lit. For the next 8 nights, beginning at sundown, a menorah with 8 candles will be lit, followed by prayers and songs while gathered with friends and family. And of course, it isn't a Jewish holiday without some delicious treats. Even if you don't celebrate it, you've got to try suvganyot, a powdered donut filled with jelly, and fried potatoes called latkes are to die for. Mix them with some applesauce and you're instantly in a good mood. It's science, and calories, remember, don't count on the weekend. I'm Zach Bodenstein.
This is 680 News at 1:38. A holiday tradition at Toronto's historic Distillery District concludes another year of festivities today. 680's Meg Black has more on what you can take in.
A holiday tradition at Toronto's historic Distillery District concludes another year of festivities. In its 8th year, the Christmas market opened its gates on November 16th, but will be closing them for the season this evening. Ranked as one of the world's best Christmas markets by USA Today, you will not be disappointed. To carolers, to rides, to foods, to Santa's house, to shopping, there is truly something for everyone. For all the procrastinators listening, get moving. The market closes tonight at 9 o'clock. Round up the family, call your friends, and head over to the market ASAP. I'm Meg Black.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll check the price of gas. 680 News Time, 1:39.
From the excitement of their first day to walking proudly across the graduation stage, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to better prepare kids for the future and the jobs of the future. So we're making updates with a focus on positive mental health, technology, skilled trades, and math, so our kids are prepared to succeed every step of the way. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow, paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Now for the 680 News gas price update. And Pro predicts the price will stay the same at midnight, holding $1.18.9 a liter at most GTA stations. We're just 60 seconds away from traffic and weather together on the ones. 680 News Time, 1:40.
I move forward, count my steps, and count the seconds. I hold my breath. And all of a sudden, sale gives you just 50% of the story. Because until December 24th, it's the big holiday countdown event. Get up to 50% off selected items. Every great story begins at sale.
Well, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place.
They had an all-white team of people to investigate racism at the school board.
Don't quite feel like the holidays.
We'll get to that. We will get to this.
Share the warmth with Toronto's homeless this holiday season by donating at fredvictor.org.
I move forward, count my steps, and count the seconds. I hold my breath. And all of a sudden, sale gives you just 50% of the story. Because until December 24th, it's the big holiday countdown event. Get up to 50% off selected items. Every great story begins at sale.
680 News Time, 1:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. How are the roads, Christine Langos?
Well, not too bad this afternoon, Cam. Thanks for asking. This report is brought to you by GTS Lexus Dealers Association. If you're on the eastbound 401, you'll find it slow from Winston Churchill to Mavis, 427 to Weston.
We got that many Lexus dealers. You have an association for real?
Westbound 401 is heavy approaching Young Toronto. You road express and collectors from Kiel, alternately express and collectors to Dixon. Northbound Don Valley Parkway seeing slowdowns north of Don Mills to York Mills. And southbound 404 Don Valley is heavy approaching Shepherd to south of Lawrence. Westbound Gardner, a slight delay, but only from the Don Valley Parkway to Cherry. Westbound QEW is busy, 427 to west of Pure, Ontario. And starting to see a bit of volume by the Ford plant. No major delays, though. Eastbound QE Gardner remains slow through Royal Windsor, approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie from the Humber Bridge to Dufferin. And Queen Street still closed between Dunn and Lansdowne both ways for collision investigation. Lease a 2020 Lexus RX 350 for as low as 2.9% APR. car with delivery credits up to $2,000. Visit your Toronto area Lexus dealer. Your next report is at 1:51, and now with a check on this gorgeous forecast from the looks of it, here's Michelle Mackey.
You're right, Christine. It is gorgeous out there, sunny and mild, and it's hard to believe that it's the first full day of winter because these temperatures are more typical of early spring. And we do have a southwest wind gusting 30 to 40 kilometers an hour, but I will take the breeze because it is responsible for pulling up that mild air mass. And if you like it mild, you will love tomorrow. Even warmer, 8 degrees and sunshine, closer to seasonal Christmas Eve day, 2 degrees and dry. So great travel weather. Currently under sunny skies, 6 degrees at Pearson, and sitting at our guaranteed high downtown, it's 5 degrees.
680 News Time, 1:43. A North York family is lighting up their neighborhood over the holidays and helping Sick Children's Hospital at the same time. The house at 165 Benjamin Boak Trail, that's near Shepherd and Keel, is covered in thousands of LED lights and several inflatable decorations on the lawn. Pasqua Desario tells Omni Television they raised over $27,000 last year.
My daughter was a juvenile diabetic. She was diagnosed at the age of 8. And when we started doing the Christmas lights, we decided to go with the Sick Children's Hospital.
You just gave me a horrible question. Did she die or did she get better? You said twice.
Are one and one. You know, Christmas is all about the kids. And Sick Children's Hospital helps a lot of children.
You can drop by for cookies and milk and make a donation today. The display will remain up until January the 6th. Still to come on 680 News. The NFL season is starting to wrap up. One of the last Sundays of football is left. Love that. And a preview of a matinee Raptors game coming up in sports. 680 News Time, 1:44.
This NHL season, Mr. Conn Smythe, Ryan O'Reilly is lighting it up on Sportsnet, while insider Elliot Friedman is breaking it down on Sportsnet. Where are we at, King Henrik? On Sportsnet. When news breaks, you want to hear Berkey's hot takes on, help us out, Max, on Sportsnet. Right. We've got Captain Connor on the ice and Jim Houston to make it sound nice. Stars! Are you not entertained? Oh, I'm entertained, PK. The NHL on Sportsnet.
Hey everyone, Sam from Best Brand Appliance. So us and Sub-Zero Wolf are bringing you just in time for the holiday season, the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet, between 25 to 45% off Sub-Zero and Wolf. An incredible opportunity for all of you who are building or renovating, and also an amazing opportunity for all you designers and builders to get your clients massive discounts on Sub-Zero Wolf. This is in-store only, so just come to our Toronto or Vaughan location and see our amazing reps. If you're seeking Sub-Zero Wolf, come see the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet now at Best Brand Appliance.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
4 degrees and sunny. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Cam Dory. Here's the
Man, that's free manure.
This hour, the Premier's constituency office in Etobicoke.
If I had a truck, I'd go clean that up, man.
Message this morning.
Hey, sell that to these people with all their urban gardens.
Rebellion dropped a literal pile of manure on the
But not for money. I just want to share the food later.
Of the rebellion says there could be more of them in the city. In Mississauga today, police are on the hunt for 2 young men after a car crashes into a tree. The men took off on foot. And coming up,
I want to see a picture of that fucking car, man.
In theaters this weekend. 680 News Time, 1:45. Right now, 680 Sports from
This picture, the front's going to be wrapped around the tree and both doors are open,
The
right?
Raptors are riding a 4-game win streak into today's matinee affair with the Mavericks. Sportsnet 1 has it for you, starting at 3:30. You can also listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Mavs guard Luka Doncic is banged up, so he will not be playing in this one. 7 games now in the NFL. That includes the Titans surprising the Saints. It is 14-0 in Tennessee. The Colts also leading the Panthers by that same score. The Giants and Washington are knotted up at 14s. All those games are in the second quarter. 4 more get going in the 4 o'clock hour before the night finishes up with the Bears hosting the Chiefs. 4 games today in the NHL. That includes the Rangers leading the Ducks 3-1. As for the Leafs, they get the day off. Tomorrow they host the Hurricanes in the afternoon. Well, the Blue Jays add a bat, signing Travis Shaw to a 1-year deal. He played mostly third base last season, but he's also played first and second, so I can expect him to bounce around. Sports 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 1:47.
Hey, Nissan, I'm looking to decorate my home this holiday season. Can you help me do it in style? Do I have a gift for you? Right now, lease the 2019 Nissan Kicks from $259 monthly and get a set of no-charge winter tires. With the Kicks' bold two-color combinations, you can add some design to your driveway. I'm feeling festive already. Don't wait. Get your gift before January 2nd. Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. 60 months at 2.9% zero down. Limited tire quantities. Conditions apply.
It all starts December 26th at 7 a.m. FactoryDirect.ca's $10 million Boxing Week inventory blowout. Crazy deals on TVs, tablets, computers, cell phones, electronics, kitchen appliances, and more. They've slashed prices up to 80% off. 4K TVs from $199. Dyson cordless vacuums from $229. Apple MacBooks, iPhones, and iPads all on sale. Visit FactoryDirect.ca or one of 22 stores and sign up for early access to the Boxing Week flyer. Doors open on December 26th at 7 a.m. Quantities are limited. Don't miss out.
680 News Time 148. One man in Australia is telling a terrifying story of how he survived a bushfire that trapped him on his property. Steve Harrison says when he realized he couldn't get out, he built himself a coffin-sized kiln in his backyard that he hid in with a fire blanket and extinguisher as the storm went over his house.
I was terrified. Yeah, I thought that was my plan B. And it's my plan B, but it came too quick.
More than 100 fires are burning across New South Wales, where 69 Canadian fire personnel are being deployed. The crews from Newfoundland and Labrador, Quebec, Yukon, Ontario,
figures it'd be Newfies.
and BC are helping in several roles, ranging from command to logistics and operations. The Force is strong at the box office this weekend.
The Force will be with you. There was never any question that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker's opening would dominate the box office. Only by how much? It earned at least $179 million over the weekend. That's on the lower end of expectations, but the final chapter of the Skywalker saga still scored the
You need
third
fucking
best
dump
December
trucks to haul away their money, man. Holy.
$6.5 million for the critically savaged Cats, a third of what was forecast, making it the year's final flop. Christopher Watson, ABC News.
That should have come out like 25 years
are
ago.
celebrating a
Why?
Canadian Christmas this year. Other British royals are staying home for the holidays. Jennifer Eccleston reports newly released photos show the Queen and her heirs.
Buckingham Palace has released festive Christmas photos of 4 generations of the royal family. Queen Elizabeth, Princes Charles, William, and George are pictured making Christmas pudding for a military charity.
The Queen went to church near her country estate at Sandringham this morning. There has been
Why do you have a military charity when you got all that fucking gold in the basement? That is fucking not right.
Existing condition. 680 News Time 149. Eddie Murphy made a historic return to Saturday Night Live last night.
Beautiful day in my neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Could you be mine? Would you be mine?
The comedian, who was a cast member from 1980 to 84, brought back some of his classic characters, including Mr. Robinson, Buckwheat, and Gumby. He also brought some friends with him. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Tracy Morgan made surprise appearances in the opening monologue. It was Murphy's first time on the show in 35 years. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on 160 News Time 150.
The holidays were made for loving company, heartwarming smiles, and mouth-watering delicious feasts and treats. And there's nothing the staff of Pumpernickel's knows better. To all the Pumpernickel's customers that have warmed their hearts with your wonderful company, and to all the new smiley faces they'll welcome in 2020, have a safe and joyous holiday season and a happy new year. Find out how Pumpernickel's can light up your holidays and your new year with exquisite catering, or find a Pumpernickel's near you at pumpernickels.ca.
Ready for super Boxing Day savings? Canada Computers is having a massive Boxing Day sale December 26th to January 2nd. Check out deals like LG Smart 4K TV for $649.99. Free LG soundbar for $149.99 with this purchase. Team 128GB USB 3.0 flash drive for $9.99. MSI 27-inch optics full HD gaming monitor for $259.90. For the nearest location, visit CanadaComputers.com. Limit 1 per customer while quantities last.
51, time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Michaels.
This report is brought to you by Salvation Army. New problems eastbound 401 approaching Mavis. The left lane is blocked for the collision now. Emergency crews are arriving on scene, and it's jamming things up from Winston Churchill. And then eastbound 401 continues slow from the 427 to the Weston Road Express and Collectors. It's a bit slow through Keel and the Collectors as well. Westbound 401 delays approaching Yonge 2 Avenue Road Express and Collectors from Weston Express and Collectors to Dixon, and from here Ontario Ontario to west of Mavis. It's busy north on the Don Valley Parkway from north of Don Mills to York Mills. It's pretty typical though. Southbound 404 Don Valley is heavy approaching Shepherd just south of Lawrence. And looking at the bottom end of the city at the westbound Gardner, it's slow from the Don Valley Parkway to Cherry. And then it picks up nicely. I'm not spotting any delays on the westbound Gardner past that point. Looks like it might start to bunch up through Park Lawn, rather. And westbound QEW is busy from the 427 to west of Huron, Ontario.
You were
Also
about
a
to
bit
say
slow
Park
by the
Shore.
Ford plant. If you're traveling on the eastbound QE Gardner, it's slow through Royal Windsor, approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, and delays on the eastbound Gardner from the
I don't know how I
Bridge
know
off
that,
and on
'cause
in
that's not a
towards
street,
Dufferin.
eh?
Now here's some good news that's just coming in. Queen Street has reopened between Dunn and
Yay!
Lansdowne, so police have wrapped up their investigation. Wildfires in Fort McMurray, flooding in Ottawa, or an empty dinner table at Christmas.
That coffee
The
town is
Salvation
still
Army will
open.
be there because everyone needs an army. Donate this holiday season at salvationarmy.ca. Your next report is at 2:01, and now with the forecast, here is Michelle Mackey.
Christine, high pressure and a southwest wind bringing us sunshine and mild temperatures today. And if you like the mild air, you are going to love it tomorrow. 8 degrees and sunshine. And you heard that right, 8 degrees. Travel is going to be great for you and Santa Claus on Christmas Eve day. A high of 2 degrees, dry weather. Now the forecast you've all been waiting for, Christmas Day, cloudy and 5 degrees. So it won't be a white Christmas, but the positive side, great driving weather. Currently under sunny skies, we are 6 degrees at Pearson and sitting at our
Tell them how
guaranteed
good the
high
driving's gonna be.
at
Make
5
sure they
degrees.
know.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Walmart.
Walmart is opening all checkouts from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. now until Christmas. Save
That
time
means it'll
on
be
your
easy to
holiday
get
shop
food
as you
delivered.
check out Walmart's unbeatable low prices.
How does Sugar Plum Fairy transform Canada's Wonderland into the world of Winterfest?
We need lights, millions of them, a gigantic Christmas tree, and Snoopy and the Peanuts gang, and ice skating and carolers spreading cheer. And more lights, and a heap of live shows and family rides. With lights!
Hurry, our magic only lasts on the world of Canada's Wonderland's Winterfest. Select dates through December 31st. Visit Winterfest Friday through Monday and save up to 20% on tickets. Only at canadaswonderland.com.
This is the 680 News events calendar.
Shenyun Performing Arts is back with an all-new production. Discover 5,000 years of wisdom, beauty, drama, and humor. Live on stage in Hamilton, Mississauga, and Toronto,
That's the
starting
way.
December
Well,
30th.
Check out the 680 News events page for more at 680news.com.
In the GTA, drivers this holiday season are up against the fury of flurries and slippery streets. There's many ways to prepare for a long winter drive. Our 680's Brittany Dooley has some road trip tips.
1 minute of sunshine and the next. Extreme weather means plenty of calls to CAA to save the day. And Caitlin First says the source of one of the most common calls this time of year, dead batteries.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of batteries actually lose their power in the summertime because of the hot heat, so that when it does get cold, even if it is in a garage,
What?
so oftentimes we get, our batteries get wear and tear during the summer, and we feel the pain of that in the winter.
So before hitting the road for a long drive, make sure all your tires are fully inflated, the gas tank is at least halfway full, and an emergency kit filled with all the necessities is packed up and ready to go. I'm Brittany Dooley.
Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll do a bit of business. So
I would say to have an emergency kit, but they don't tell you what to put in it or what you're supposed to do with it in an emergency.
Anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to prepare kids for the future, their future. So we're updating it to give kids the tools they need to support positive mental health, develop real-life skills, and prepare for what's next, so they're ready to rise to every test, during school and after. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
At Rogers, a new year means new possibilities for your business. When you choose business-grade wireless solutions, right now, get iPhone XR 64 gig, featuring a 6.1-inch liquid retina LCD display for just $0 on a 3-year business share plan. With Rogers, you get the technology, expertise, and support your business deserves. Don't miss out. Visit rogers.com/plansforbiz now. Rogers, make doing business on the go possible.
You can make more.
680 News time, 1:56. Time now for the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Chris McCusker. Unconscious bias and stereotypes may still prevent women from advancing in their careers. That's according to a new survey of 2,000 adult workers, which was commissioned for Randstad, an HR services company. Caroline Levy is the president of Randstad Technologies, but she's also the diversity and inclusion executive ambassador.
From a business perspective, what we started to see throughout the poll was, or through the survey results, was how men and women were responding differently to the same questions. So, for example, if we dive into just the overall statistic of 71% of people surveyed believed that a balanced gender representation in the leadership teams does have a positive impact on businesses from a financial perspective. You open that up, 77% of that's driven by women and 55% that's driven by men.
So what does that say to you?
You know, it's really a message to say to organizations looking at the demographics of their leadership teams. Are they in balance? And if they're not in balance, where else can they go within the organization to garner some insight to ensure that the additional perspective is being provided for the decisions to be taken by the organization?
Now, having said that, has there been some progress?
Yes, there has been progress. And I think, you know, that's what we see in our survey as well. For the future is that the younger cohort of individuals between the ages of 18 and 34, both men and women, both do feel that there is an importance for men to help advance women into leadership for the future. So the fact that that perception is strong with that age category does show that there is progress.
Caroline Levy is the president at Randstad Technologies. And at the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Love your music, love your turntable. Listening to vinyl records is truly a mad.
Third expert named to review racism at Peel District School Board. The Ontario government has named a third expert to conduct a review of a Toronto area school board facing allegations of racism. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says lawyer Sean Richard will join the existing team examining the Peel District School Board in response to public criticism that none of the existing reviewers were black. Richard is an expert in family and estates law with the firm Lankinski Law and is past president of the Canadian Association of Black Lawyers. Suzanne Herbert and Ina Chada were previously appointed to the review. Lecce announced the review in November, saying the board is facing allegations of anti-black racism and concerns that it is not following proper governance, leadership, and human resources practices. The board has previously said the review is taking place at its request, and you left out the apostrophe. Herbert served as a deputy minister with the Ontario Public Service from 1997 to 2008, while Chada spent 8 years as vice chairwoman and adjudicator with the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario, because they always release great decisions. The team has been asked to produce an interim report before the end of the year and complete the review by the winter of 2020. Yeah, they've got an end date on the review. You will be finished looking into this by next year, period. Aspiring officer among 2 extreme speeders nabbed this weekend. It will not be a Merry Christmas for at least 2 drivers on GTA roads this weekend. Provincial police say they stopped a 21-year-old aspiring police officer in the Kitchener area after he was clocked doing over 200 kilometers an hour in a 90 zone. And the picture on the gun here says 202 kilometers per hour. Police say the man is a student in the Police Foundation's program. He was handed a 7-day license suspension and strongly encouraged to obey the law before trying to enforce it. Hashtag irony. The second incident involved a 38-year-old man who was stopped doing 171 kilometers an hour on Highway 407 in Burlington. The man told police he was rushing to pick up a family member. He was also handed a 7-day license suspension. And you misspelled license. It should be a C, not a S. But that's just my criticism.
15, and it's slow from Winston Churchill. And then we have delays eastbound 401 from Dixon to Weston, both express and collectors. A bit of a bunch up the Keel and the collectors as well. Westbound 401 is slow approaching Yonge to Avenue Road, alternately express and collectors. On the westbound 401, a slowdown from Weston, express and collectors to Dixon, from Huron-Ontario collectors to west of Mavis. So everything is just filling in across the GTA, and not a lot of volume really to worry about. Northbound Don Valley Parkway, it's business as usual here. It's slow from north of Don Mills to York Mills, and busy on the southbound 404 Don Valley approaching Shepherd to south of Lawrence. On the westbound Gardner, we have slowdowns from the DVP to Cherry, from Park Lawn to Royal York, and from the 427 to west of Copper. It's also a bit busy by the Ford plant. Eastbound QEW is heavy to Royal Windsor. From southbound to Dixie, you'll also find delays on the eastbound Gardner from the Humber Bridge to Dufferin. Tim and Sid are also on the radio. Listen live weekday afternoons from 5 to 7 on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Your next report is at 2:11, and now the forecast. Here's Michelle Mackey.
Winter has officially arrived, Christine, and it's a gorgeous day to welcome in the season. High pressure bringing us sunshine. It's pretty bright out. You'll need the sunglasses.
Winter in Canada, they're fucking suntan.
Is drawing in some mild air. So despite the breeze, it's why we're above seasonal, and I'll take it. And that trend does continue into Monday. In fact, even warmer tomorrow, 8 degrees the high. Currently under sunshine, 6 degrees at Pearson, and sitting at our guaranteed high downtown, it's 5 degrees.
680 News Time, 2:03. Saying they're delivering a message that the province's plan to tackle climate change is total crap, in their words. An activist group has turned that metaphor into reality, dumping a pile of manure outside the Premier's constituency in Etobicoke. 680's Jordan Reed.
What about the poor cows that have to produce that manure? That's a byproduct of animals, and you're wasting the byproduct.
Extinction Rebellion
It's
echoing the
abuse of
Ontario
animals,
Auditor's
to be
general
honest.
message that the Conservative Climate Action Program is bull. Now, the XR group took that message quite literally as they dumped manure on the driveway of Doug Ford's Constant office. I spoke with Cameron Topp, the spokesperson. Getting the manure all together, that's a pretty strong message to send.
Yeah, we had to visit a farmer, and we wanted to make it the real thing. It was gathered from a small organic farmer, right from his cows.
You can see a video of the men shoveling the waste off of their truck. You can also visit the
They'll dump
680
cow
News
shit on the
website for
guy's
pictures.
place, but they don't want it to have any
Ford
pesticides or
plan
anything.
is bull. Todd says that the message was beyond necessary and that they're done being polite.
We're wanting to express to the people of Ontario that this government is taking us backwards, and for everybody to start demanding a really serious climate action. And
I want to protest this $10 billion sewer, so I'm going to go dump a truckload of human manure on the fucking city hall. I'm going to follow their logic.
He also said that manure could wind up in any parts of Toronto if things don't change. Now, I've contacted the city and
That's threatening. What's with all the shit dumping in this city, man?
680 News Time, 2:04.
I'm not afraid to stand on the corner and get shot, even this thing about getting hit by cars. I'm going to be standing there, and there's going to be a bastard with a bucket of shit or a truck of shit. No, man.
Dairy area. The two men initially were seen running away after the incident. Now, the investigation is ongoing. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story. 680 News Time, 2:05. One man in his 70s has been taken to hospital after being hit by a TTC streetcar in the city's west.
It said it was a bus.
Just after 11 this morning.
How'd you fuck that up?
Street West. Police say his injuries are non-life-threatening. He was struck while riding a motor scooter. The road closure between Queen from Dunn Avenue to Lansdowne has now opened back up. Police are investigating after shots rang out in East York last night. Two men are now in hospital. 680's Leah Johansson has more.
Two men are recovering in a trauma center this morning with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Officers were called after reports of a shooting just before 8:30 last night in the Thorncliffe Park Drive and Overlea Boulevard area. Witnesses described several people running from the scene shortly after the shooting. Constable Edward Park says police are asking anyone with information to come forward.
There is no possible updates on suspects at this time.
Police appear to be focusing their investigation on the parking garage of a building in that area, but at this time it's unclear exactly where the shooting took place. I'm Leah Johansson.
Those are the questions we have.
Full day of winter. is doing its best impression of spring.
We don't care what the cops are doing. We just where exactly did they get shot? How many times? What caliber was it? They revolvers or semis? These are the questions we have. We don't give a fuck what the cops are
As we
doing.
look ahead to Christmas Eve day, great traveling conditions both on the roads and in the sky for Santa Claus with a high of 2 degrees and dry weather. But it does mean Christmas is looking green in the GTA. And did you know there's a very specific definition for a white Christmas? Environment Canada defines it as at least 2 centimeters of snow on the ground at 7 a.m. Christmas morning. There's also a perfect
Motherfucker, there's a definition. Holy.
But not only do you have 2 centimeters of snow on the ground, you also have snow in the air or snow falling at 7 a.m. I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News Time 207. Family, friends, songs,
I'm gonna
and
write that
food.
down.
That's what the Jewish community will be doing for the next 8 days, starting tonight as Hanukkah gets underway. 680 Zach Bodenstein tells us about a couple of events across the city to look out for.
If you're celebrating, you're probably eating a ton of food tonight, including donuts. But in between stuffing yourself, there are 2 separate Hanukkah events happening in the city. A giant 13-foot menorah lighting at Mel Lastman Square at 6 p.m. and more happening south in Yorkville, where an interactive arts installation will be on display. Meyer Dabrowski is the rabbi at the Yorkville Jewish Center.
We are going to be launching tonight the Pillars of Light project, and that is with the message being adding light into the world. We wanted to take that to the next level with offering students from over 25 schools from across the GTA of all faiths and backgrounds an opportunity of how they could bring light and goodness into the world this Hanukkah.
The project, now in its 2nd year, has gained tons of traction, expanding to parts of the United States and Europe next year. I'm Zach Bodenstein.
680 News Time 208. Santa's real work is about to begin, which means, unfortunately, he needs to shut down the Christmas market. 680's Meg Black sets up the last day of Christmas magic in the Distillery District.
Toronto's beloved Distillery Christmas Market comes to a close today. For those who still need to cross off some family and friends from their Christmas shopping list, well, you're in luck. Vendors will be selling locally handcrafted products throughout the day. Kudos to those who've already finished their shopping, but you will not need to sit this one out. From performances, rides, food, Santa's house, there is plenty for you to do. Now, the market does close tonight at 9 p.m., so if you're making your way down there, get moving. I'm Meg Black.
The way we celebrate Christmas has changed over the centuries. Our Jim Benny says some people played direct roles in that evolution.
One was Charles Dickens, according to Professor Bruce Forbes of Morningside College. He points out a few things about A Christmas Carol.
For instance, Scrooge, who is such a negative figure until his heart has changed, he represents a lot of the people of the time who, yes, everybody worked on Christmas Day, and you weren't supposed to do these other things. Charles Dickens wanted to bring it back. So he's an advocate with his story, a very successful advocate.
He's told SomethingYouShouldKnow.net that Clement Clark Moore in his visit from St. Nicholas added the idea of someone in a reindeer-pulled sleigh coming down a chimney on December 24th. I'm Jim Benny.
In 30 seconds, we'll check the prices at the pumps. 680 News Time 209.
Me and this
Sounds like
F-150, we are
the European
for the long
home
haul.
invasion.
What about costs like insurance,
The
maintenance,
old
fuel?
man on a sleigh pulled by reindeer will climb down the chimney. He will tell you he has presents for you, but you must give him milk and cookies. He'll write you down on his list of naughty people. That sounds like a fucking stalker to me, man.
Get up to $10,500 in rebates on select new 2019 F-150 models. Get the truck that's built for the long haul. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Info predicting the price of gas is going to stay the same at midnight and hold at just under $1.19 a liter. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together.
Cold symptoms coming at you? Take DayQuil Complete and put your cold symptoms out cold!
DayQuil Complete. The coughing, aching, congested chest, stuffy head, power through your day, medicine. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label. Keep out of reach of children.
Calling all CAA members, you can earn 20% more Petro points when you link your Petro points card to your CAA membership card. Don't forget, you can also exchange your Petro points for CAA dollars, which can be redeemed towards your CAA membership renewal, gifting a membership, booking a vacation with CAA travel, purchasing movie and attraction tickets, and more. Visit caasco.com/PetroPoints and start earning more today.
Cold symptoms coming at you? Take DayQuil Complete and put your cold symptoms out cold!
NyQuil Complete. The coughing, aching, congested chest, stuffy head, power through your day. Medicine. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
News time 2:11. Checking your drive. Christine Langers.
This report is brought to you by Ironwood Ford on the eastbound 401 approaching Mavis. There's a collision blocking the left lane. Emergency cruiser on scene, and it's slow from Winston Churchill. Eastbound 401 is also heavy from Dixon to Weston, and the express to Kiel and the collectors. I'm having a look at the westbound 401 just west of Westney. There seems to be a bunch up here. Just beyond this area, it picks up nicely. So perhaps there's something on the road, debris or some sort. I'll give MTO a call. Westbound 401 is heavy from Weston, express and collectors to Dixon. Northbound Don Valley Parkway looking at volume delays from north of Don Mills to York Mills. And busy on the South 404 Don Valley from south of Finch to south of Lawrence. On the westbound Gardner Queenie, you'll find delays from the Don Valley Parkway to Cherry. It's a bit busy west of Park Lawn also. Westbound QEW is slow from the 427 to west of Cobra. It's busy by the Ford plant. Eastbound QEW, a slight slow spot here from Bronte to east of Third Line. It's also slow through Royal Windsor, approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie. And once you hop onto the eastbound Gardner, you'll find this busy from the Humber Bridge off and on in towards Dufferin. Log on to AaronwoodFord.com this Christmas morning for this year's best gift. Up to $2,000 in Aaronwood bonus bucks on top of the Aaronwood Ford year-end price. Your next report is at 2:21. Now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Christine, it's a sunny and mild first day of winter. We have a southwest wind gusting 30 to 40 kilometers an hour, but I'll take the breeze because it is responsible for pulling up that mild air mass. And if you like it mild, you are going to love Monday. 8 degrees and sunshine. Closer to seasonal Christmas Eve day, 2 degrees and dry, so great weather for traveling. Currently under sunny skies and sitting at our guaranteed high. We are at 5 degrees downtown, and we are now at 6 degrees over at Pearson.
680 News Time 2:13. This just into 680 News. A man has been stabbed near the Oakdale Golf and Country Club in North York. Police say 2 men got into a fight near Oakdale and Shepherd. One of them was stabbed, suffering minor injuries. The suspect reportedly was seen fleeing in a black Jeep. Stay with 680 News for the latest on this developing story.
This Boxing Week at Rogers, you can unwrap more.
Oh, I'm unprepared. Hold on.
More of our greatest offers of the year, like buy one, get one when you activate 2 lines for the Samsung Galaxy.
Fuck, I thought it was a slow day. I just want a bunch of more shit. More shit for the fire.
Rogers Infinite plans and more wireless listening with premium sound. When you get a pair of Samsung Galaxy Buds free, get twice the night with Samsung Photo and free Galaxy Buds while quantities last. During the Rapid Red event.
Monitor.
From the excitement of their first day to walking proudly across the graduation stage, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to better prepare kids for the future and the jobs of the future. So we're making updates with a focus on positive mental health, technology, skilled trades, and math, so our kids are prepared to succeed every step of the way. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow, paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
What a beautiful way to start winter. A clear sky and 5 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Asher Roth. Thanks for joining us here with the top stories this hour. Calling the Ford government's climate change plan total crap, the environmental protection group Extinction Rebellion has dumped a pile of manure outside Premier Doug Ford's constituency in Etobicoke. We're following breaking news from North York, where a man has been stabbed in the Oakdale and Shepherd area just east of Highway 400. The victim suffered minor injuries. The suspect fled in a black Jeep. And if you're looking to get festive on this Sunday afternoon, there's plenty to do across the city. It's the final day of the Distillery Christmas Market. And up in North York, a menorah lighting is happening at Mel Lastman Square to mark the first day of Hanukkah. It gets underway at sundown. 680 News Time 2:15. Time now for 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here is Brent Gunning. Brent.
Thank you, Asher. The Raptors host the Mavericks today, trying to push their win streak up to 5. Luka Doncic won't be playing. He is still sidelined by a sprained ankle. You can watch it on Sportsnet 1 or listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan starting at 3:30. It's a busy day in the NFL with 7 games on the go now. That includes the Titans up 14-3 on the Saints. That is also the score for the Falcons leading the Jaguars, while the Dolphins lead the Bengals by that same margin. The night will finish up in Chicago with the Bears hosting the Chiefs. As for the Leafs, they are off until tomorrow, and they will host the Hurricanes for a 2 o'clock start. Wings forward Robbie Fabry is fined by the NHL for his spear on Alex Kerfoot in last night's Leafs win. And
Pagers. You can't get Pagers.
Travis Shaw to a one-year deal. He played mostly third base last season, but could also play first and second. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time 2:16.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Corey, it's your last chance to donate for 2019.
Hello, Alpine Credits.
You're the guys that say, approved, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I told the wife I want to go on a 2-week fishing trip, and she did not approve, so I want you to do it.
We only approve homeowners for loans, for renovations, consolidating debt, that type of thing.
Can I just watch the Fishing Channel instead?
Sure.
2 whole weeks?
Yes.
Yes.
At Alpine Credits, we try to approve all home equity loan applications, regardless of your credit, age, or income. Find out more at alpinecredits.ca. Alpine Credits. Homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616.
You're listening to All News Radio. This is 680 News at 2:17. Andrew Scheer is staying on as Conservative Party leader until November. The party announced it's postponing its policy convention to select a new leader, originally scheduled for April. The party has yet to give a timeline for its leadership race, but some party members say there's no time to waste with a minority government in place. Scheer resigned from the leadership position earlier this month amidst a scandal regarding party funds used to send his kids to private school. 680 News Time 2:18. The Turk Foundation.
You're gonna steal money. That's the best way to do it. Spend it on something they can't take away from you.
Say it was desperately needed after finding broken furniture, shards of glass, syringes, and mangled metal in the play area for children. TVS Danny of City News has more.
The playground sits next to a dump behind a strip of buildings on Sherburne Street between Dundas and Gerrard, and is meant to serve all the kids that live in the nearby apartment buildings.
It's basically where every kid in the complex wants to come and play.
The residents say for years it has been neglected, and they're skeptical about bringing their children to what they call a dangerous play area.
If they don't keep it clean, the kids can't really play here. Not even my dog can play here.
Until volunteers from the Turk Foundation, a community and youth outreach group in Toronto, took
Six.
The group rented a truck and cleared the area, sweeping away the mess. We did reach out to Toronto Community Housing about the mess, and although some of the items appear to have been abandoned for years, they tell us the city does pick up bulk items on a regular basis. They also add that residents of Toronto Community Housing buildings can call the city to report overflow of bins if needed. For City News, I'm TVS Danny.
And they'll rush right down and do something about it, right?
Gatherings are happening these days with plenty more to come for the holidays. It means you'll probably have to pack and repack your liquor cabinet. 680's Victoria Willison.
The Turk Foundation, TNT, Turk and Tyke, Sick Thugs Entertainment, Region Park.
Shopper, chances are you didn't stock up on the wine and beer a month early. Top picks at the LCBO this holiday season are champagne, sparkling wine, gin, tequila, and Canadian whiskey, of course. George Soleil is president and CEO of the LCBO. Explains how they
cleans up the playgrounds out here. Huh? They would blame us for all this mess. No, it's us cleaning it up.
Additional employees over the holidays. We want to make sure that our customers can shop with ease and enjoy a stress-free shopping experience.
But what's the best way to avoid the holiday rush?
The online. So that's another option.
The LCBO will be closed on Christmas and New Year's Day, but some locations will be open Boxing Day.
And of course, police reminding everyone to find a safe ride home, never drink or do drugs, and drive. In 60 seconds, a check of the roads in your extended forecast. 680 News Time 2:20.
At Rogers, new possibilities for your business. When you choose business-grade wireless solutions. Right now, get iPhone XR 64 gig, featuring a 6.1-inch liquid retina LCD display for just $0 on a 3-year business share plan. With Rogers, you get the technology, expertise, and support your business deserves. Don't miss out. Visit Rogers.com/plans-for-biz now. Rogers, make doing business on the go possible.
You can make more.
Hey, everyone.
everyone, Sam from Best Brand Appliance. So us and Sub-Zero Wolf are bringing you just in time for the holiday season, the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet, between 25 to 45% off Sub-Zero and Wolf. An incredible opportunity for all of you who are building or renovating, and also an amazing opportunity for all you designers and builders to get your clients massive discounts on Sub-Zero Wolf. This is in-store only, so just come to our Toronto or Vaughan location and see our amazing reps. If you're seeking Sub-Zero Wolf, come see the Sub-Zero Wolf outlet now at Best Brand Appliance.
680 News Time, 2:21. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Viva Next. Now we have a couple of problems on the major routes. On the westbound 401 west of Westney, the right lane is blocked with a collision. We have emergency crews on scene, so it's slow from approaching Westney to west of it. Westbound 401 is also heavy from Leslie Express, Bayview Collectors to Avenue Road, from Weston Express and Collectors to Dixon, and from here Ontario to west of Mavis. On the eastbound side, eastbound 401 approaching Mavis, left lane is still blocked here because of a collision, and it's slow on the eastbound 401 from Winston Churchill to approaching Mavis, and delays continue eastbound 401 from Dixon to about Weston Express to Kiel in the Collectors. You'll find it slow north on the Don Valley Parkway from Don Mills up towards York Mills. Southbound 404 Don Valley is heavy from south of Finch over the 401 to south of Lawrence. On the westbound Gardner, looking at delays from the Don Valley Parkway to Cherry, and past that it picks up nicely. Westbound QEW is busy from the 427 to west of Copra, and just looking by the Ford plant, yeah, it looks quite busy from about Ford Drive to approaching Trafalgar. On the eastbound QE Gardner, we have delays from Bronte to east of 3rd through Royal Windsor, approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, and it's busy from the Humber Bridge to Dufferin. Also hearing about a stalled vehicle on the Toronto-bound QEW at Fairview. It's blocking off the right lane. It's the season of giving in Vaughan, and your local shops and businesses can help you find what you're looking for. Stop, shop, and dine on Highway 7 West and Bathurst and Centre Streets. Visit vivanext.com. Your next report at 2:31. Now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Christine, this is a very exciting extended forecast because, of course, we've got Christmas in the near future. High pressure and a southwest wind bringing us sunshine and mild temperatures today. We are well above the seasonal average, which is 0. And if you like the mild air, you are going to love Monday. Hopefully you have the day off. 8 degrees and sunshine. And then great travel conditions for you and Santa Claus Christmas Eve day. The high 2 degrees and dry weather. Now the forecast you've all been waiting for. Christmas Day, cloudy and 5 degrees. So it won't be a white Christmas, but the positive side, great weather for driving. Currently under sunny skies and sitting at our guaranteed high downtown. It's 5 degrees, and over at Pearson, we're sitting at 6.
And don't forget, 680 News is the only radio station in Toronto with a weather guarantee. Our jackpot as of midnight, $10,000.
Look, I'll drive you guys home, but you need to chill. Everyone buckle up and stop messing around. I didn't sign up as DD just to end up in a ditch.
Even sober, young drivers are 9 times more likely to crash. Speak your mind. ChangeTheConversation.ca.
Congratulations on winning the Chicago pitch. I have taxi chits here to get everyone home safely. Let's not have this win end in a loss.
Convicted drunk drivers will be stopped at the U.S. border. Change the Conversation. Sponsored by the Brewers Association of Canada.
An environmental activist group has dumped a pile of manure outside Premier Doug Ford's constituency to protest the government's climate plan. Coming up at 2:30, our Jordan Reed will have more from the group's spokesperson. And a man is recovering in hospital after being struck by a streetcar near Queen and Lansdowne. Those stories and more at the bottom of the hour. 680 News Time, 2:24.
At 680 News.
Man, you knew you were standing on rails. You should have been looking both ways.
More than 3 degrees. We'll announce a lucky winner of our growing cash jackpot.
Now, get more chances to win each month and vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in December for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for 2 at the Grand Memories Splash in Punta Cana.
Located near Bavaro Beach.
Of all the little things to bother me, I have a little bit of weed left, like an odd amount out of what I had set aside. It's gonna fuck up my count when I go into the next portion.
All Christmas news is next.
Okay, listen up. Garage door emergency? Relax. Since 1958, it's always been Dodds Garage Doors to the rescue. Their non-commissioned repairmen only do and repair what's necessary. No upselling. None. For same-day service, call Dodds now.
Sometimes you want a little bit of upselling.
And remember,
If you see something I don't see that needs to be fixed, you should tell me.
Me and
this F-150, we are in it for the long haul.
Oh yeah? What about costs like insurance, maintenance, fuel?
No problem. It just won an award for lowest cost to own in its class, 5th year in a row.
Wow, sounds like you really love your truck.
Yeah.
Get the Ford F-150, the truck with the Vincentric Award for lowest cost to own in its class. Now during the Ford year-end event, get up to $10,500 in rebates on select new 2019 F-150 models. Get the truck that's built for the long haul. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
Time for all Christmas news at 25 minutes past each and every hour, brought to you by the Scott Mission. Well, the holidays mean more sugar, starches, spirits, and stress. The 4 S's, which can be bad for your teeth. The Ontario Dental Association is offering a few reminders while trying not to spoil the party, including Dr. Kim Hansen, the association's president.
Water's always a good friend any time of year because it decreases the acidity in the mouth. It washes away any debris. So, just drinking water in between, like many other events, chewing gum, if you don't have access, it'll stimulate saliva flow, which will help buffer the pH in the mouth.
And he adds, if you wait 30 minutes after eating or drinking anything sweet before you brush your teeth, it can lessen the chances of sensitivities later in
All
life.
these dentists telling me to chew gum. I don't think so.
25 minutes past every hour on 680 News.
And now time for your weekend business report. I'm Richard
I swear, you keep pushing it back a full minute.
Fast rising cyber threat. The information of 15 million medical lab customers in Ontario and BC was compromised, with Life Labs paying a ransom. New Orleans and Baltimore were attacked, along with multiple locations in Texas, among many victims. The criminals' methods have changed, but motives have not, according to the Chief Information Security Officer of cloud computing giant Amazon Web Services, Stephen Schmidt.
People are still motivated by greed, by revenge, by espionage motives, those sorts of things. If you look at most of the attacks that have gone on in the world around here, it tends to be focused on things like ransomware, getting money out of people, or Bitcoin mining. Is a huge reason for break-ins to systems.
Schmidt, who was previously with the FBI, says the threats are endless.
There is no real quantification for it. I think one of the pitfalls that people quite often run into is they'll try and count different threats that come in, and once you get over 1 million or 2 million, what's the point? It's irrelevant. And one of the benefits, actually, of having as broad a customer base as we do is we get to see the threats that are against all of them, which means we get to build tools to detect those threats.
AWS Chief Information Security Officer Stephen Schmidt. In the Business Center, I'm Richard Detman.
Tim Hortons makes holiday shopping easy, no matter who's on your list. Like friends, coworkers, and even know-it-all cousins. $1 from every purchase of our holiday merchandise supports Tim Hortons Foundation Camps. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Available at participating restaurants for a limited time. Hey, Nissan. Now, I may have overindulged on the sweets this holiday season, but I think I have room for one more treat. That's perfect, because we've got a real treat for you this Boxing Week. Right now on select models like Rogue, Qashqai, or Kicks, get an additional $1,000 bonus cash. It's like having your cake and eating it too. Please, no more cake. I can't. Get your sweet Boxing Week bonus by January 2nd. Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. Conditions apply. Tim Hortons makes holiday shopping easy, no matter who's on your list. Like friends, coworkers, and even know-it-all cousins. $1 from every purchase of our holiday merchandise supports Tim Hortons Foundation Camps. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Available at participating restaurants for a limited time.
Checking the business travelers forecast. If you're headed to Chicago, expect a clear sky and 4 degrees. Vegas, overcast and 8 degrees. Halifax, it's overcast and 3 degrees. And right now in downtown Toronto, we have a clear sky. It is currently 6 degrees, but it feels like 2 with the wind. Mark DeLuca is our editor. Meg Black is at the digital desk. 680 News Time, 2:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Cam Dorrit and Asher Roth.
Good afternoon. This is Sunday, the 22nd of December. Here's what's making news right now.
An early Christmas present has been dropped in front of Doug Ford's constituency office. The catch? It's a pile of manure.
An elderly man has been taken to hospital after being hit by a streetcar near Parkdale. Police say he was riding a motor scooter.
It's a winter warm-up
That was
above
in
seasonal temperatures for the first
Parkdale,
few
buddy.
days of the season, and that means a green Christmas is
You're
in store.
twisted.
It's the first night of Hanukkah. How are you celebrating? How about heading down to Yorkville Village for a menorah
I'm
lighting?
smoking 8 days worth of weed tonight. That's what
We're
I'm doing.
about an hour away from tip-off between the Raptors and Mavericks. There's 7 on the go now in the NFL. Will the Leafs take the day off? Sports at 45.
And coming up in business.
That's
To be the best, you have to
277,
hire
but
the
the thing
best.
says
Our Toronto
270.
restaurant has taken the top spot in international rankings on the must-visit list for fine dining. We'll hear about Liberty Entertainment's Don Alfonso,
The
1890.
article says 279. There were 2 shootings, so they were fucking right in the article. Between the headline and the text, they got fucking 2
This
more
report is
shootings.
brought to you by City TV. It's busy on the westbound 401 from Brock Street to west of the 412, and now westbound 401 west of Westney. Not only do we have a collision in the right lane, but we have a collision now blocking a piece of the left lane. So 2 separate collisions. Westbound 401 west of Westney. It's heavy from approaching Westney to west of it. Westbound 401 is also slow from Leslie Express, Bayview Collectors to Avenue Road, from Weston to Dixon, here Ontario Collectors to west of Mavis. Eastbound 401 is now busy from Winston Churchill to Mavis. Problems approaching Mavis all cleared away. Eastbound 401 slows from Dixon to Weston in the Express to Kiel in the Collectors. You'll find it slow north on the Don Valley Parkway anywhere from north of Don Mills to York Mills. Southbound 404 Don Valley is heavy from south of Finch over the 401 to south of Lawrence. On the westbound Gardner, it's heavy going from the Don Valley Parkway to Cherry. Then it picks up. It's pretty good now through Park Lawn. Westbound QEW, though, is slow from the 427 to west of Caldera, busy by the Ford plant, and from Walkers to west of Guelph Line. On the Toronto-bound QEW at Fairview, the right lane is blocked with a stalled vehicle. Tows are on scene. Eastbound QE Gardner is heavy through Bronte to east of 3rd, east of southbound to Dixie, Humber Bridge to Dufferin, and just getting word from police about a collision affecting Finch west of Weston at Jaysell Drive. Get the latest news affecting our community every night on City News at 6 and 11, only on City TV. Your next report is at 2:41. Now with the forecast, here is Michelle Mackey.
Christine, winter has arrived and it's a gorgeous day to welcome in the season. High pressure bringing us sunshine. It's pretty bright. You'll need the sunglasses today. And a southwest wind gusting 30 to 40 kilometers an hour is drawing up that mild air. So we are well above our seasonal high of 0. Same thing goes for tomorrow, Monday. 8 degrees and more sunshine too.
It's going to be
Currently
10 or
under
12
sunny
or
skies,
some
6
shit.
degrees at Pearson and sitting at our guaranteed high downtown. It's 5 degrees.
680 news time, 2:33.
What's going on?
Probably not the gift Doug Ford is hoping for this holiday season. Calling his climate plan, quote, total crap, an environmental activist group has dumped a pile of manure outside.
You don't know the man grows his own weed. He's going to use that fucking horse shit, that cow shit. I know he's going to use that cow shit.
Spokesperson. She joins us live.
You just saves him a shitload of trouble to go buy the
happened
shit.
about 9 a.m. Cameron Top, along with his accomplice from Extinction Rebellion, drove to a local farm, purchased organic manure, and dumped it on the driveway of Doug Ford's constituency office. Now, this is all in protest of the Conservative Climate Action Program.
People are no longer prepared to be polite about it. Waiting for another election or, politely asking for change obviously isn't working.
You can catch video of Top shoveling the cow waste from a truck on Twitter, and you can also see pictures on 680 News' website. Now, that includes signs that read, Ford's climate change is bull, star, 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 star.
You're
Now,
allowed to
Top
say
says the
shit
group
on the
exists
radio in
across
Canada.
and will continue
Pussies.
the manure movement if necessary.
We are frustrated, extremely upset about the lack of action by Ford conservatives. Their climate program, it's been clearly criticized by the Auditor General as being full of lies and double counting and based on absolute nothing.
He also considers this to be a non-violent protest and even called it a light-hearted prank. Reporting live, I'm Jordan Reed.
You know how much you have to pay for cow shit to get it delivered in the city? Motherfucker.
Near Oakdale and Shepherd. It started off as a fight between 2 men and ended with one of them being stabbed. According to police, he suffered minor injuries. The suspects were driving a black Jeep, last seen leaving the area. The investigation is ongoing. Listen to 680 for more updates on this developing story. A man in his 70s riding a motor scooter has been struck by a streetcar. It happened just after 11 this morning near Queen and Dunn. That's just east of Lansdowne. Now, there was a road closure in effect. It's since reopened. The man's injuries considered non-life-threatening.
This is CTR 680 News. The Ontario government has named a third expert to conduct a review of a Toronto area school board facing allegations of racism. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says lawyer Sean Richard will join the existing team examining the Peel District School Board in response to the public criticism that none of the existing reviewers were black. 680 News Time, 2:36. Two men are in hospital after a shooting in East York. 680's Leah Johansson has the latest on the investigation.
Both victims are recovering in a trauma center with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Officers were initially called to the area of Overley and Thorncliffe Park Drive just before 8:30 last night. Constable Edward Parks says officers are now searching for the suspects involved.
There were several people seen fleeing the area. At this time, there is no description of suspects, and we are going to be seeking video.
Police are asking anyone who might have any information to come forward. I'm Leah Johansson.
680 News Time, 2:36. Winter officially here today, although it may not feel like it. I'm okay with that. 680's Michelle Mackey has more on what to expect for the rest of the week.
Winter has arrived, and so too has a big winter warm-up. Temperatures are well above seasonal for the first few days of the season. In fact, these highs are typical of what we see in early spring. If you love mild air, then you're going to love Monday's forecast. 8 degrees and sunshine. As we move into Tuesday, closer to seasonal with a high of 2. Dry weather means great traveling conditions on the roads and in the sky. So good news for Santa. We're not expecting any air traffic delays for him. And then as we look to Christmas Day, 5 degrees and cloud cover. Mild weather means we are unfortunately going to see a green Christmas. But hey, great news for travelers. I'm Michelle Mackey.
Well, today, many Jewish families across the GTA and all around the world will be participating in a festive tradition. As 680's Zach Bodenstein tells us the city's doing its part to honor this annual tradition.
The Hanukkah spirit is certainly in the air. That's Boys to Menorah on the Late Late Show with James Corden, but they're not the only ones celebrating. Rabbi Meir Dabrowski of the Yorkville Jewish Center.
In our second annual Pillars of Light Hanukkah project, we've reached out to students from across the GTA and asked them how they could bring light and goodness into the world this Hanukkah. It's been amazing to see how many notes have been filled out and how beautiful they are. We are taking those notes and hanging them up on pillars throughout the Yorkville village.
Dabrowski adds that not just students, but all are welcome to come out and write a note on how they can bring light and goodness to the world. Our weather specialist, Michelle Mackey, says the forecast should be seasonal for the 5 p.m. menorah lighting in Yorkville.
So if you wear a jacket, you'll be nice and comfortable, and not much of a wind chill either. It'll just be feeling around the freezing mark to -1.
I'm Zach Bodenstein.
A popular Christmas market in Toronto is coming to an end. For the year at least. 680's Meg Black has more on what you can do in the Distillery District today.
Today is your last chance to visit Toronto's Distillery Christmas Market, a holiday staple. If you have yet to go or need another Christmas fix, grab your friends and family and head over today. Enjoy live performances, including carolers and dance acts, ride the Ferris wheel, and of course, pop into Santa's house. Now, foodies, you're in luck. You can taste a number of traditional European street-style food, as well as traditional Canadian holiday staples. You will not be hungry. The market closes tonight at 9 p.m., so get your fix. I'm Meg Black.
680 News Time, 2:39.
Some savings are too big to fit in a box, like Sunwing's Boxing Week sale, where you can save up to 40% on all-inclusive vacations at top-rated resorts. Save big now, so this winter you can vacation better.
Renowned Toronto pain doctor Alan Gordon charged with sexually assaulting 5 patients. Toronto police have charged a prominent pain specialist with sexually assaulting 5 patients over a span of 14 years. Holy fuck. Alan Gordon, 75, was arrested on Friday and charged with 5 counts of sexual assault, the Toronto Police Service said in a news release. Police expressed concern there may be more victims. Dr. Gordon, a neurologist, was director of the Wasser Pain Management Center at Mount Sinai Hospital in Toronto when he allegedly sexually assaulted the patients between 2002 and 2016, police said. He is scheduled to appear in court at Toronto's Old City Hall on February 5th. A Globe and Mail investigation in May identified at least 10 former patients who complained to the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario that Dr. Gordon sexually abused them. 3 of the patients also filed civil lawsuits against him. Man, just go to his fucking office and deuce. No, that's what I would probably not. Don't listen to me. Dr. Gordon joined Mount Sinai in 1975 and became chief of neurology in 1981. During his 4 decades at the hospital, he was known as a top pain specialist and the go-to doctor for patients afflicted with a rare disease called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS, a connective tissue disorder that is often misdiagnosed and misunderstood. Symptoms include chronic migraines, debilitating muscle and joint pain, and abdominal pain. So you fucked up. You right fucked up. Okay. RFU, right fucked up. Documents obtained earlier this year by the Globe, including lawsuits and college reports summarizing the patient's complaints, described the alleged abuse that took place during physical examinations. One woman accused Dr. Gordon of thrusting his crotch against her vagina. Another accused him of sexually stimulating her clitoris. Another accused him of inserting a finger in her anus without her consent. The college refused to divulge how many patients complained about Dr. Gordon and removed from its public website, you left out the apostrophe, any mention that he once stood accused of sexually abusing a patient during a medical exam in May 2015. It closed the files of women who complained and did not publicly acknowledge their allegations, the Globe reported. Instead, Dr. Gordon pleaded no contest before a discipline panel in October 2018 to the less serious offense of professional misconduct for failing to obtain a patient's informed consent for a pelvic exam. Professional misconduct. As part of the settlement, he agreed to resign and never reapply to practice medicine in Ontario or any other jurisdiction. He was 73 at the time. Dr. Gordon has not practiced medicine since July 2017 when Mount Sinai Hospital suspended and later revoked his hospital privileges. Nancy Whitmore, registrar of the college, said earlier this year that the regulator has protected the public interest because Dr. Gordon agreed never to practice medicine again. The Gordon case has raised questions about whether the medical regulator is equipped to investigate sexual abuse complaints. Mary Lou McPhedran, a senator and human rights lawyer who has chaired 3 government-appointed inquiries in Ontario on the sexual abuse of patients, said the college is not adequately protecting patients. The most recent inquiry led by Ms. McPhedran recommended in 2016 that the government take away the Health Regulatory College's ability to prosecute and adjudicate sexual abuse complaints and place that power in the hands of a new centralized body and independent tribunal. However, the Ontario government said earlier this year it has no plans to change the status quo. The Gordon case is not an isolated incident. The Globe investigation found that the college dropped allegations against 1 in 4 doctors accused of sexually abusing patients over a 6-year period. The doctors either admitted to less serious misconduct or pleaded no contest, meaning they did not contest the facts, but also did not admit guilt. Why can't I do that with a drug charge? Or an assault? Fuck the drug charges. No contest. I'm not saying I did it or I didn't, but you didn't prove I did it. That's... Mount Sinai is quote-unquote fully cooperating with the police investigation, hospital spokeswoman Barbara McCulley said in a statement on Friday evening. Quote, we deeply regret that the patients of our hospital who entrusted their care to Dr. Gordon had their trust violated. It wasn't their trust, it was their assholes, she said.
For his mom piece. And with all the exclusive offers at TSC, I can treat myself to something special.
Ooh, maybe that cute Brian Bailey too.
Everyone's going to be happy this year.
Give the gift of joy this season. Visit tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
4 degrees and a clear sky. Good afternoon for the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Cam Dorrit. And I'm Asher Ron. Here are the top stories this hour. A climate activist group takes the phrase total crap to the next level. Extinction Rebellion dumps manure from the back of the pickup truck in front of Doug Ford's constituency office in Etobicoke. The group says they're fed up with the government's climate change policies. We have breaking news from Vancouver this hour. This just in, a plane has crashed on Vancouver Island, and according to the Joint Rescue Coordination Center, that plane was supposed to arrive in Tofino yesterday. The crash site was found this morning. No word yet.
So they've been out there all
injuries.
fucking night.
And coming up after
What?
sports, the holidays are a time to celebrate, but for those struggling with addiction, it can be one of the hardest times of the year. 680 News Time, 2:45. And time now for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Brent Gunning.
Thank you, Cam. The Raptors are riding a 4-game win streak into today's matinee with the Mavericks. Sportsnet 1 has it for you starting in about 45 minutes time. You can also listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Luka Doncic is still banged up, so he will not be playing for the Mavericks in this one. We're into the second half of most of the early games in the NFL. The Colts lead the Panthers 21-3. The Titans are up 14-10 on the Saints, while the Giants have a 28-14 lead on the road in Washington. The night finishes up with the Bears hosting the Chiefs. 4 games today in the NHL. As for the Leafs, they are off. Tomorrow afternoon, they'll host the Hurricanes at 2 o'clock. Well, the Blue Jays add an infielder, signing Travis Shaw to a 1-year deal. He played mostly third last season, but has also played at some first and second. Sports 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home at Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 2:46.
What will your winter vacation sound like this year? Or, wherever you're heading, be sure to pack CAA travel insurance. From helping you find the nearest hospital to paying emergency medical expenses up front, CAA travel insurance lets you travel worry-free. Plus, CAA members save 10%. So get a quote today before you hear this. CAA, making bad days good and good days better. Terms and conditions apply. CAA travel insurance is underwritten by Orion Travel Insurance Company.
Hey guys, have you been on medication or just feel lousy because of your weight? Sleep apnea, sciatica, I had it all. Until I met the team at Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men. I'm Pat Carano, a 51-year-old accounting professional from Woodbridge. And I'm telling you, losing my weight has changed my life.
Don't miss 20% off 2020 memberships. New members only. Call now, 416-222-9887. HarveyBrooker.com.
If you could do it alone, you would have done it already.
I did do it already. Go fuck yourself.
247. The Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Center is reporting more than 50 Canadians are in Australia to help fight
69
devastating wildfires. And say more are expected to leave before the end of the month. 30 personnel who left on Thursday will be based in New South Wales. That's where strong southerly winds fanned more than 100 fires yesterday. Kim Connors is with the Forest Fire Center and says 3 contingents are involved.
The group that left on December the 3rd were staying 38 days. The group that left on December the 19th are staying 38 days. The 18 that will leave on the 30th are due to return on January the 29th.
No, you got newbies in there. They ain't leaving until that fire's out,
The
eh?
Canadians won't be on the front lines, rather in planning positions. Addiction experts say the holidays can be an especially trying time for people
Sounds like where they
recovering
belong.
from substance abuse.
The holidays can trigger relapse for people recovering from addiction for several reasons.
There's a lot of social events that happen that have drinking involved.
Chris
And
Riley is with
drugs.
Crossroads, a substance abuse treatment provider in Arizona. He says another reason,
Some men and women aren't allowed back home, or their families kind of disown them. So there's a lot of depression that sinks in at this time of year.
so what can you do to help?
The key is to support that person and realize we don't have to get blasted. We don't have to get, considerably drunk, especially when that person's at the house.
Griselda Satino, ABC News, Phoenix.
680 News Time, 2:49. A big budget Hollywood feature is apparently getting some special effects after the fact.
I don't understand this.
It's a magical knife.
I'm gonna listen again, though.
I choose the cat.
Cats, directed by Tom Hooper, is being criticized heavily on opening weekend, partly because of its CGI-heavy cat designs. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Universal Studios has now notified theaters right across North America that an updated version of the film is, quote, coming their way, one with improved special effects. The damage, it might already be done. Cats expected to bring in just $8 million this weekend, despite costing some $100 million to make. Eddie Murphy made a triumphant return to Saturday Night Live.
Girl, it's your old pal, Mr. Robinson. So much has changed since we last spent some time together. My neighborhood has gone through so much. It's gone through something called
gentrification. He replies classic SNL sketch characters like Mr. Robinson, Velvet Jones, and Buckwheat Murphy kept riding that nostalgia train right throughout the show, even dressing up as 90s icon Gumby for a segment of Weekend Update. During his opening monologue, Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle made an appearance, and musical guest for the night, Lizzo. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the one, 680 News Time, 2:50.
It all starts December 26th at 7 a.m. FactoryDirect.ca's $10 million Boxing Week inventory blowout. Crazy deals on TVs, tablets, computers, cell phones, electronics, kitchen appliances, and more. They slash prices up to 80% off. 4K TVs from $199. Dyson cordless vacuums from $229. Apple MacBooks, iPhones, and iPads all on sale. Visit FactoryDirect.ca or one of 22 stores and sign up for early access to the Boxing Week flyer. Doors open on December 26th, 7 a.m. Quantities are limited. Don't miss out. The legend returns. Shen Yun Performing Arts is back with an all-new production. How many times have you thought about attending but missed out? Now is your time. It's a journey you've been long waiting for. Discover 5,000 years of wisdom, beauty, drama, and humor live on stage in Hamilton, Mississauga, and Toronto starting December 30th. Secure your tickets today at shenyun.com.
680 News Time, 2:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Lycos.
This report is brought to you by UNICEF Canada. If you're traveling on the westbound 401, first of all, you'll find it busy from Dixon to west of the 412. And it really bogs down from Salem to west of Westney, where the left lane is still blocked with a cleanup of a collision. Westbound 401 is slow from Leslie Express, Bayview Collectors to Avenue Road. From Weston Express and Collectors to Dixon, approaching here Ontario Collectors to west of Mavis. It's heavy on the eastbound 401 from approaching Mississauga Road to Mavis, and delays from the 427 to Weston Express to Keele and the Collectors. Things have really eased on the northbound Don Valley Parkway. It's busy from approaching Eglinton to York Mills, though. Southbound 404 Don Valley is heavy from south of Finch to south of Lawrence, and at the bottom end, it's quite slow from approaching Queen to the Gardner ramp because of that construction on the westbound Gardner. Westbound Gardner is slow from the DVP to Cherry, but then it opens up nicely. Westbound QEW delays 427 to west of here Ontario from Ford Drive to Trafalgar and through Guelph Line. On the Toronto-bound QEW at Fairview, the right lane is blocked with a stalled vehicle, and delays on the eastbound QE Gardner through 3rd from southbound to about Dixie from the Humber Bridge to Dufferin. Southbound 427 looks busy from south of Bloor to south of Dundas in the Express. Give a real gift with real impact this holiday. Shop UNICEF Survival Gifts at unicef.ca because every kid everywhere deserves a healthy and happy childhood. Your next report is at 3:01. Now with the forecast, here is Michelle Mackey.
Christine, high pressure and a southwest wind bringing us sunshine and mild temperatures today. And if you like the mild air, you will love tomorrow. Monday, 8 degrees and sunshine. Those are temperatures we typically see in early spring. Great travel conditions for you and Santa Claus. Christmas Eve day, high of 2 degrees and dry weather, so great for traveling. And now for the forecast you've all been waiting for. Christmas Day, cloudy and 5 degrees. So it won't be a white Christmas, but the positive side, great driving weather. We are currently under sunny skies, 7 degrees at Pearson, 6 degrees downtown. Today's guaranteed high is 5.
This extended forecast is brought to you by the Grand
What the
Hotel.
hell is going
Book
on
your
with my
next
fucking
meeting,
keyboard,
event,
man?
or
I
stay
can
at
barely
the
spell as
luxurious
it
Grand
is. You're making
Hotel
it
Toronto
difficult.
and receive Aeroplan miles. Visit GrandHotelToronto.com because life is grand.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, the latest on a putrid protest in front of Doug Ford's constituency office in Etobicoke. A group of climate activist protesters dumped a pile of manure on his doorstep. We also have more details on a plane crash in Vancouver. 680 News Time, 2:54.
This Boxing Week at Rogers, you can unwrap more during the Wrapped in Red event. That means more of our greatest offers of the year, like buy one, get one when you activate 2 lines for the Samsung Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy S10e. Infinite data you can share when you get them both on select 2-year Rogers Infinite plans. And more wireless listening with premium sound when you get a pair of Samsung Galaxy Buds free. Get twice the nice with Samsung Fogo and free Galaxy Buds. Quantities last during the Wrapped in Red event on now at Rogers.
How do I rectify this? I have a half a split.
Now more than ever.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is 680 News.
Ask for us on your smart speaker.
In the GTA, your delicious Christmas dinner at Mom or Grandma's house means jumping in the car during the movie. Get there. So, what's some tips for the drive?
Unpredictable winter weather, icy roads, dead batteries, and lots of traffic. That's a classic recipe for a holiday ride, and it's sure to cause some bumps along the way for some drivers. Caitlin First with CAA is suggesting drivers to prepare for the worst-case scenario with an emergency kit.
What you really want to have in there are some basics like
It's
a
the
first aid
smallest
kit.
button that
You want to
does.
keep yourself visible. So, lights, flashlights, cones, have an extra hat, mitts, blankets, gloves. So if you do find yourself at the side of the road, you keep yourself warm.
Other tips to help prepare for a long drive: having the gas tank filled at least halfway up, checking the weather forecast before
food in
heading
the
out,
car.
and making sure tires are fully pumped. I'm Brittany Dooley.
Coming up next, the Business Report. 680 News Time, 2:55.
OFX are global money transfer specialists, reimagining how the world moves money. OFX has the expertise to support
I like to
everything
carry
from
it in my
businesses
pocket.
processing international payments to individuals purchasing property abroad or sending money to family back home. It's all backed with 24/7 human support and competitive rates. Keep more of your money as it travels around the world. More at OFX.com.
Hey, that's contradict. Keep more of my money as it travels around the world. My money's not going around the world. It's going around my neighborhood. Get the fuck
Costs
out of
like
here.
insurance, maintenance, fuel.
No problem. It just won an award for lowest cost to own in its class, 5th year in a row.
Wow, sounds like you really love your truck.
Yeah.
Get the Ford F-150, the truck with the Fincentric Award for lowest cost to own in its class. Now during the Ford year-end event, get up to $10,500 in rebates on select new 2019 F-150 models. Get the truck that's built for the long haul. Visit your
Now I got this little piece left over. That's gonna fuck with me all fucking day, eh?
680 News
I
Time,
have to roll it up in one
2:56.
big one.
Time now for 680 News Weekend Business Reports. I'm Richard Southern. Big business news this past week when it comes to the silver screen here in Canada. Cineplex, the largest theater chain by far in this country, agreed to a $2.8 billion friendly takeover from Cineworld. This is a UK-based theater company that has been snapping up theaters around the world. It comes as fewer people go to the theater, well, with streaming services becoming more and more popular. Harry Schwartz with Baskin Wealth Management says it's key for theaters to join forces these days.
How many movie producers are left? It's pretty much Disney and nobody else, right? So the movie theaters themselves need to consolidate to protect themselves and to keep their pricing power. And so the company that's acquiring it is Cineworld, who they acquired, I believe, Regal Cinemas in the U.S. And so now they're going to be the biggest movie theater company in the world, and they'll be able to properly negotiate with Disney because everybody's scared about Disney.
I mean, conceivably, do you think they close theaters as a result of this deal?
Oh, for sure. There's going to. Well, I mean, Cineplex is already working on plans to for the theater of the future, which is fewer screens, probably all of them showing Disney movies, more games, more music, more redemption games, better food, other things to do because. Let's face it, movie going is never going to recover what it was, and but people still need a night out. You still need to take your kids somewhere. You can't just.
It didn't cost $20 to go, maybe.
I don't know. I don't have young kids anymore, but my kids, all they do is watch YouTube. But at the end of the day, you got to do something. So I think Cineplex will survive in the new reality.
That's Barry Schwartz with
Netflix, Disney Online, and this new fucking thing. None of them's getting the money. It's all they're on YouTube, where it's free, motherfucker. Cost of entry is $0.
Take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to better prepare kids for the future.
You can get like a joint and 2/3
So
of
we're
a
making
joint. Whatever it
updates
is.
with a focus on positive
I'm
mental
gonna have to break it
health,
all up and
technology,
see if I can
skill
get
trades,
even
and
number
more,
out of
so our
this.
kids are prepared to succeed every step of the way. Learn how the government is improving your
I
child's
love it's
educational
OCD.
journey
It only
at
comes out certain
ontario.ca/education
things.
for tomorrow. Paid for by the government of Ontario.
Hey Nisa, I'm looking to decorate my home this holiday season. Can you help me do it in style? Do I have a gift for you?
Right now, lease the 2019 Nissan Kicks from $259 monthly and get a set of no-charge winter tires. With the Kicks' bold two-color combinations, you can add some design to your driveway.
I'm feeling festive already.
Don't wait. Get your gift before January 2nd. Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. 60 months at 2.9% zero down. Limited tire quantities. Conditions apply.
Time now for some regional weather conditions in Newmarket. 5 degrees and clear. Pickering, clear and 4. Right now in downtown Toronto, some sunshine still and 4 degrees. 680 News Time at the tone, 3 o'clock.
You get 2 out of it, motherfucker.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Cam Dorrit and Asher Roth.
Good afternoon. This is Sunday, the 22nd of December. Here's what's making news right now.
A pile of manure dropped in front of Doug Ford's constituency office. 680 News talks to the man leading the protest.
Breaking news from British Columbia, where a plane has crashed on Vancouver Island.
Winter is here. So is
No, the breaking part is that you found it. You didn't tell us last night that it crashed.
And
that I
Christmas
recall, anyway.
is looking green.
I might not have been paying attention, but
It's the first
I
day
would
of
have recalled.
Hanukkah as the Jewish
plane
people
crash.
celebrate a miracle over 2,000 years old, and celebrations are set to take place in the city this evening. The Raptors host Dallas this afternoon. That'll tip off in about a half hour's time. Well, there's 7 games in the second half now in the NFL. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, Cannabis 2.0 is looking to put the 2 and 0 in 2020. We'll hear from the CEO of Organigram on how the industry will change as we welcome a wave of next-gen pot products.
680 News Time.
2 or 3 years, these companies are all going to be seeking some form of corporate welfare.
Here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Aaron Wood Ford. I'm just having a look at the southbound Don Valley Parkway. It's heavy over the 401 to south of
It's all
Lawrence and from
fucking-
approaching Queen to the Gardner Ramp. It's all because of that construction set up
My
westbound on the
best
Gardner.
guess is the cocaine kingpins money in the Caribbean being used for venture capital that's funding these companies.
From the Ford Drive
You get a kick out of the idea that they're going to sell legal drugs.
You'll find delays on the
But
eastbound
the businesses are doomed to fail because they don't have fucking revenue.
southbound to Dixie. It's also busy from the
the
Humber
hell's on
Bridge
my
to Dufferin.
fucking road?
Looks like things have eased off though on the southbound 427 down to Dundas. On the northbound Don Valley Parkway, it's busy, but only from approaching Eglinton to York Mill, so not too bad at all. Westbound 401 delays approaching Brock Street to west of the 412. Problems west of Westney have been cleared from both the left and right lanes. It's slow through Kennedy and the collectors from Leslie to Avenue Road, alternately express and collectors. Then west 401 is heavy Islington to Dixon, approaching here Ontario to west of Mavis. Eastbound 401 delays from east of Winston Churchill to Mavis. 427 to about Weston in the express and to Keele in the collectors. We had a collision blocking lanes at Finch west of Weston Road, and traffic lights malfunctioning according to a traffic spotter at Laird and Millwood. Log on to AaronWoodFord.com this Christmas morning for this year's best gift. Up to $2,000 in Aaronwood bonus bucks on top of the Aaronwood Ford year-end price. Your next report is at 3:11. And now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Christine, winter has arrived and it's a gorgeous day to welcome in the season. High pressure bringing us the sunshine and a southwest wind bringing us the warmth. That trend continues into Monday. 8 degrees, even warmer tomorrow. We're currently under sunny skies, 7 degrees at Pearson, 6 downtown. Today's guaranteed high is 5 degrees.
680 News Time, 3:03. Call it a putrid smelling act of protest. An activist
Putrid?
group has literally delivered
Manure
a message
shouldn't
to
smell
Premier Doug Ford,
putrid.
dumping a pile of manure outside his constituency in Etobicoke. 680's Jordan Reed has more from the group's spokesperson.
The Extinction Rebellion took that message quite literally earlier today. They drove to a farm in Hamilton, bought organic manure, drove to Ford's Constituent office, and dumped it. You can watch a video of the two men shoveling the waste onto the driveway on Twitter, and you can see pictures on 680 News' website.
Those were the exact questions I had. Where did it come from? What market did you go to?
Are being attacked quite literally by this government. There's no longer a day or a week to wait.
He also said that it was a light-hearted movement and even called it a prank.
Or
It's a
hoping
big
is to
movement.
galvanize enough people to force real action on climate programs around Canada and the world.
Can we expect manure to be in any other parts of the city?
Could be.
The Extinction Rebellion says their protests will always be non-violent. I'm Jordan Reed.
680 News Time, 3:04. We have breaking news from Western Canada. A plane has crashed on Vancouver Island. According to the Joint Rescue Coordination Center, the plane was supposed to arrive in Tofino yesterday, but did not. That sparked a search. The crash site was discovered this morning on the Stewartson Inlet of Vancouver Island. There's no word yet on injuries. Stay with 680 for the latest on this developing story. 680 News Time, 3:04. 2 men have been arrested by Peel Police after crashing a car into a tree in Mississauga. The incident occurred near Winston Churchill and Derry Road. The 2 men were seen running away. Police are still investigating the case. 680 News Time, 3:05. Well, although it's technically the first day of winter, we're getting quite a warm streak throughout the GTA.
Running away just fucks you up worse.
On what you can expect during the first few days of the new season.
Average high for this time of year is 0. Today's high, 5 degrees. High pressure and a gusty southwest wind bringing in that mild air, and it sticks around through Monday, warming up to 8 degrees. That's where we should be early spring. Great traveling conditions Christmas Eve with a high of 2 and dry weather, but it means Christmas conditions are looking green in the GTA. Looking for a white Christmas? Head to BC. The coastal mountains east of Vancouver just picked up more than 1 meter of snow this week. I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News Time, 3:05. A man in a motor scooter has been rushed to hospital after he was hit by a streetcar in the city's West End. Happened just after 11 o'clock on Queen West near Dunn Avenue. The victim, a man in his 70s, he was taken to hospital with serious injuries, but is expected to survive. A portion of Queen has been closed to the investigation, but since reopened. 680 News Time, 3:06. Police are asking for your assistance identifying a suspect after a sexual assault in Cabbagetown. Officers say a 22-year-old woman was walking near Sherburne and Dundas just after 4:30 on Saturday morning when she was approached by a man with a knife. That suspect reportedly tried to rob the woman, forcing her into an alley where she was sexually assaulted. Police say the suspect is considered armed and dangerous. You can find his picture at 680news.com. Tonight marks the first of Hanukkah, an 8-day celebration of the Jewish religion. 2 major events in the city to celebrate the occasion, including art installation in Yorkville and a giant menorah lighting at Mel Lastman Square. 680's Zach Bodenstein has the details.
Okay, think of it this way. Your cell phone battery is at 10% for 8 straight days and doesn't die. Now you understand Hanukkah, which means dedication in Hebrew. The real story is a miracle, overcoming adversity, defeating a corrupt king and regaining control of their temple. Oil that was supposed to burn on the menorah for 1 day ended up lasting 8, allowing the Jews to make more oil and keep the flames lit. For the next 8 nights, beginning at sundown, a menorah with 8 candles will be lit, followed by prayers and songs while gathered with friends and family. And of course, it isn't a Jewish holiday without some delicious treats. Even if you don't celebrate it, you've got to try suv gunyot, a powdered donut filled with jelly, and fried potatoes called latkes are to die for. Mix them with some applesauce and you're instantly in a good mood. It's science, and calories, remember, don't count on the weekend. I'm Zach Bodenstein.
Well, from a Jewish tradition to a slightly more common one. A holiday tradition at Toronto's historic Distillery District concludes another year of festivities. Today, 680's Meg Black has more on what you can take in.
A holiday tradition at Toronto's historic Distillery District concludes another year of festivities. In its 8th year, the Christmas market opened its gates on November 16th, but will be closing
I don't
them
think
for the
that
season
tradition's
this
more
evening.
common
Ranked
than
as
the
one of the
Jews
world's
lighting
best
menorahs.
Christmas
I don't
markets by
think so.
USA Today, you will not be disappointed. To carolers, to rides, to foods, to Santa's house, to shopping, there is truly something for everyone. For all the procrastinators listening, get moving. The market closes tonight at 9 o'clock. Round up the family, call your friends, and head over to the market ASAP. I'm Meg Black.
680 News Time, 3:08. Christmas parties are in full swing. A lot of homes filled with friends and family, but also scared and nervous pets. Our Jeff Home to speak with an expert from Dogtopia on how to get your pup or cat or whatever it may be to relax.
There are a few things to remember when planning a party and decorating your house, according to Anita Samadian, a regional developer with Dogtopia. First, be aware of the food you're putting out for guests.
There's some ingredients that you want to be aware of which are toxic to dogs. Chocolate being a big one, which most people know about, but also grapes, as well as avocados.
Second, how do you keep your dog calm with all the noise and more people than they're used to?
Pepper them out. So we really recommend taking them out for an extra walk, a hike.
And finally, she says a good idea is to decorate above where your dog or cat can bite.
Poinsettias are actually quite poisonous to dogs. So if you do have the poinsettia plants, we recommend placing them on, a fireplace mantle or another high spot.
I'm Jeff Ho-Ho-Ho-Homan.
In 30 seconds, we'll check the prices at the pump. 680 News Time, 3:09.
The holidays snuck up on you. You're looking for a little extra money to make it all happen. Call or click to prudentfinancial.net. Since 1984, Prudent has been there when you needed a loan, even with a lower credit score, even when you're self-employed, a past bankrupt, or in a proposal.
Prudent puts the equity in your car or home to work for you. Loans up to $35,000.
This shit's crazy, Eric. Says the bullet is still lodged near her spine. How it feels to be just another person among a record 279 shot in Toronto this year. But the URL says 277. So while they were preparing this, 2 more shootings happened. Before the chaotic crush, before she was trampled by people rushing for cover, before she crawled inside the doors of an Oakwood Avenue bar for refuge, Samantha Cow Tomlinson was suspended in an almost placid confusion. Quote, I could swear I was just standing there for like 10 minutes, she said, just trying to figure out what this feeling was. On a rare night out over the Thanksgiving long weekend, the 30-year-old mother of 2 had been dancing and socializing at the Greens in Oakwood Vaughan, a favorite bar where the drinks are cheap and the face is familiar. Sporting a gray sweatsuit and pigtails, she just snapped a selfie in the bathroom before heading outside for a smoke. Within seconds of stepping out the door, she noticed the crowd around her began to panic. Time slowed as she searched their faces for what was happening. She hadn't heard a bang or seen anything suspicious. Then, straining to interpret a strange feeling in her back, she fell to the ground. Quote, I was like, what is this sensation? Because you've never felt it before. Cow Tomlinson is among the 279 people shot in Toronto this year, part of a grim record, the most people killed or injured by bullets in police records that go back 15 years. And as a shooting survivor, a bullet is still lodged in her back where it stopped millimeters from her spinal column after missing her vital organs. She is part of a peculiar trend that's seen more people injured in far more shootings than in 2018, but fewer people killed. As of Friday, 41 people had been killed in 464 recorded shootings in 2019, down from 48 killed in 399 shootings by the same time last year. Community advocates and police attribute the phenomenon in part to a growing number of neighborhood beefs in which gang members are shooting off rounds targeting areas, not necessarily people. Cow Tomlinson's October 13th shooting may be among them. Police have not made any arrests, but said at the time that they did not know if Cow Tomlinson and another woman who was shot were the intended targets. Cow Tomlinson's been told by others that someone was standing at the corner, quote, shooting down the street and walked off. There was no warning, there was no hey, there was nothing. They just came and started shooting, she said, adding she has no idea who the shooter is. The mounting gun violence has had far-reaching implications. As the injuries strain the city's emergency rooms, including a hospital for sick children, doctors have begun speaking out, some advocating for increased gun control. Amid calls for action, politicians from all 3 levels of government invested $4.5 million to fund a new police project aimed at cracking down on gun crime. When the program wrapped after 15 weeks late last month, police conceded the shootings had not abated, though they insisted inroads have been made through arrests and gun seizures. And it doesn't say it specifically explicitly right here, but the number of shootings during that 15 weeks was higher than the same 15 weeks last year. Community advocates, meanwhile, stress gun crime won't decrease until investments are made in addressing the root causes of crime, including a lack of housing and employment opportunities. All the while, the human toll is mounting. Though she is one of the, quote, lucky ones who survived, Cow Tomlinson said she feels left behind. Just another, quote, just another person who got shot. Because I'm not dead, because I'm so lucky, because it's such a miracle at this point, it's like, okay, that's good enough. You should just be happy. And I'm not. I'm not even close to being happy, she said. 2 months after the shooting, she is still processing what happened, but recalls much of the night in detail. Immediately after she collapsed, chaos erupted around her. She could see another woman was injured on the ground nearby, and the 2 of them were suddenly getting stepped on by the people who had been outside the bar when bullets began flying. Quote, people are literally trampling us to get inside this one little door, she said. I can't get up because they are still coming, so even if I try to get up, there's no point. You just have to stay down now and get in the way you can. She began desperately crawling on the ground towards the bar entrance. Grasping her phone in her hand, she smashed its screen. Again, you're missing an apostrophe. That's 3 of them I found today. As she hit it against the ground, scrambling inside, she also began shoving the other woman who'd been shot towards the door. It wasn't until she got inside the bar that she looked down, saw blood gushing out of her side, and realized she'd been shot in the back. Still, she stayed calm. She applied pressure to the wound and told herself at least the bullet wasn't in her stomach. She wiggled her toes to make sure she could move them, then checked herself for other wounds, finding none. The next day, she discovered a gash in her leg from where another bullet grazed her. She clung to the emotion building up inside her. Not only had she been shot, people had trampled on her to escape instead of helping her. She was livid. You're not going to get away that way. Quote, you just stay here and you stay mad, you'll be okay, she told herself. As long as you stay angry, you'll be alive. She recalls screaming as she was brought into the ambulance, then paramedics telling her to be calm. She was taken to Sunnybrook Hospital where they cut off her clothes and examined her. For 14 hours, she waited to find out what would happen before she was told doctors would leave the bullet in place, staple the wound closed for now, and let her go home. She has since realized how close she came to much graver injuries. I could have lost a kidney and been paralyzed. It literally missed everything important and stopped right outside the spinal tissue, she said. Still, she was in pain. In the days after the shooting, she stayed with family in Oshawa. More than a week later, the staples were taken out. Recently, she's been told it will be better to leave the bullet where it is, though she will have to monitor for any changes. Cal Tomlinson has yet to address the psychological injuries. Battling anxiety and depression, she is distracting herself by focusing on her 3-year-old daughter and 10-year-old son. There are triggers that bring her back to the moment she was injured, including when she hears about another shooting. Every time she looks at her broken phone, she is reminded of crawling to safety. She has difficulty accepting that she'll have a reminder with her always, the bullet in her back. She is also struggling with practical challenges. As singer, Cal Tomlinson has lost income because she's had to cancel gigs. She also wants to move. She lives not far from the bar where she was shot. Yeah, how are you going to get on a plane now? That desire is common among shooting victims, said Bobby McMurich, Associate Executive Director of Victim Services Toronto. The organization, which provides immediate crisis support to those impacted by crime and other traumatic events, tries to help coordinate a move whenever possible. Really? I didn't know that. Quote, when someone is a victim of gun violence, their whole world in terms of that sense of safety is just shattered, McMurray said. Cal Tomlinson said she's surprised she got shot, yet she's not. The fuck? She stopped... What? She stopped going to after-hours parties because she heard about too many people being injured or killed in gun violence. She's also lost loved ones. Her boyfriend, Justin Waterman, was gunned down alongside his brother Jerome in a North York parking garage stairwell in 2012. Moving forward, Cal Tomlinson said Toronto needs to reckon with mounting gun violence and communities need to come together to support people at risk of picking up a gun. At risk of picking up a gun. She doesn't know if learning the identity of the shooter will help her, but for now she says she is not angry. For someone to fire a gun multiple times into a crowd of people, quote, something has to be broken upstairs. I feel bad for the person who did this, she said. Really? Well, now my fucking thing is all fucked up. What the fuck just happened? Thank you. I wasn't in the middle of something there. I swear there's like 2 paragraphs now. What the fuck? Moving forward, Cal Tomlinson said Toronto needs to reckon with mounting gun violence and communities need to come together. Oh, I just read that. To support people at risk of picking up a gun. Blah, blah, blah. What was it? I feel bad for the person who did this, she said, because you got to be going through so much. You've had to fall into the cracks so much that you're either idolizing somebody who is giving you these plans or you just really have nothing else to live for. People analyze this shit and you just daydream up these reasons why it happened. You got in front of a bullet and you did not stop it. That was the end of the whole thing.
Strong southerly winds are causing the flames. Another 18 Canadians are scheduled to leave
on December 30th. 680 News Time, 3:19. International relations experts say few global separatist movements serve as encouraging examples for any Western Canadians trying to secede from the country. The term Wexit gained traction after the federal Liberals were re-elected back in October, but were reduced to a minority. They were also shut out of Alberta and Saskatchewan. The Wexit movement has branches in the 4 westernmost provinces, and it aims to push for a referendum to split from Canada. Brock University political scientist Paul Hamilton says secession rarely happens in established democracies.
You rarely get the level of persecution that would lead to a demand for secession in a democratic state, because you've got charters of rights and you've got elections, you've got avenues to address grievances that don't require a radical move.
Alberta Premier Jason Kenney has rejected separation, but his government is examining ways to get Alberta more autonomy from the federal government. 680 News Time, 3:20.
At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business
I thought you were
Internet
trying to
Pro
get fucking
Gigabit
billions of
plus
dollars out of the
365,
federal
now just
government. Make up your
$119.99
fucking
a month
mind.
on a 3-year term. Visit Rogers.com/internet-for-biz.
You can make more. From finger painting to times tables, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to prepare kids for the future, their future. So we're updating it to give kids the tools they need to support positive mental health, develop real-life skills, and prepare for what's next, so they're ready to rise to every test, during school and after. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365. Now just $119.99 a month on a 3-year term. Visit Rogers.com/internet-for-biz.
You can make more.
680 News Time, 3:21. With a look at the roads, here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Shell. Thanks to traffic spotters for calling in from the westbound 407. Westbound 407 approaching Bathurst. I'm hearing about a vehicle fire, and it's partially blocking the left lane, but for the most part, they've made it over to the left shoulder. I'm hearing it's fully engulfed in flames right now, so that's westbound 407 approaching Bathurst. Just expect a minor delay to that area right now. Emergency crews are arriving on scene. Westbound 401 is slow through the 412, through Kennedy and the Collectors. 404 Express, Leslie Collectors to Avenue. Heavy from Islington to Dixon, approaching here Ontario Collectors to west of Mavis. Eastbound 401 is heavy from east of Winston Churchill to Mavis. 427 to the 400 Express and Collectors, and there's a slowdown east of Salem as well. Northbound Don Valley Parkway just busy from approaching Eglinton to York Mills, and the South 404 Don Valley is slow from south of Finch to south of Lawrence, and again from approaching Queen to the Gardner ramp. On the westbound Gardner, you'll find it slow from the Don Valley Parkway to Cherry, from Strawn to west of Jameson. Now, if you're traveling on the westbound QEW, expect delays 427 to west of Copra, 4 drive to Trafalgar, and a bit of a bunch up through Appleby as well. It's heavy on the eastbound QE Gardner through Royal Windsor, approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, and from the Humber Bridge to Dufferin. Also hearing about a collision involving a vehicle going into a pole. It's affecting north and southbound Victoria Park, north of Eglinton and Pulswade. It's time to get 50 Air Miles bonus miles. Just fuel up 4 times with any Shell fuel. Only until December 27th. Details at shell.ca/Air Miles with fuel. Your next report is at 3:31. Now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Christine, this is a very exciting extended forecast because, of course, we're talking about Christmas. High pressure in the southwest wind bringing us sunshine and mild temperatures today. And if you like mild air, you will love Monday. 8 degrees and sunshine in store. Great travel conditions for you and Santa Claus. Christmas Eve day, a high of 2 degrees, dry weather. Now, the Christmas forecast, cloudy and 5 degrees. So it won't be a white Christmas, but on the positive side, great driving weather. Currently under sunny skies, 7 degrees at Pearson, 6 downtown, and today's guaranteed high is 5 degrees.
And don't forget, 680 News has the only weather guarantee across the radio spectrum in Toronto. You can join the contest at 680news.com. Our jackpot is now $10,000.
The season of one-horse open sleighs has got a lot more powerful. Now experience the exhilaration of controlling a whole stable under your roof. And with Lexus's December to Remember event, there's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a Lexus.
Lease a 2020 Lexus NX300 for as low as 1.9% APR with delivery credits up to $1,500. Visit LexusGTA.ca or your Toronto area Lexus dealer.
Coming up at 3:30, an early Christmas present for the premier, likely not one he wanted. An environmental activist group has left a pile of manure outside Doug Ford's Etobicoke office. Our Jordan Reed will have the details at the bottom of the hour.
You've heard the saying, like a kid at Christmas. That's how excited we are.
I want to know how much they paid for that manure.
We can't wait for Christmas. Literally. So we're playing all Christmas music.
Yeah, it's every day.
Christmas is the best time of year, and we love to bring it to you.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Happy holidays.
Toronto's Christmas music station is
98.1 CHFI.
Christmas news is coming up next.
This Boxing Week at Rogers, you can unwrap more during the Wrap and Red event. That includes more of our greatest offers of the year, like buy one, get one when you activate 2 lines for the Samsung Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy S10e. Infinite data you can share when you get them both on select 2-year Rogers Infinite plans. And more wireless listening with premium sound when you get a pair of Samsung Galaxy Buds free. Get twice the night with Samsung Foco and free Galaxy Buds while quantities last during the Wrap and Red event. On now at Rogers.
Don't know what to get them for the holidays?
A fidget spinner? Really? I birthed your 3 children, and you get me a glow-in-the-dark fidget spinner?
How about better sleep from Sleep Country? Hurry into the Boxing Week sale and get the gift of better sleep. Plus, get amazing prices on sleep essentials like duvets, pillows, sheets, and more. And get a Hot Buy Queen mattress with temperature control, just $369. Hurry in store or online because it's on now. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
Time for all Christmas news at 25 minutes past every hour. It is brought to you by The Illusionists, Magic of the Holidays. Well, the 4 S's can be bad for your teeth during the holiday season. The Ontario Dental Association's offering some advice to help you and your teeth stay healthy into the new year without ruining the party. President of the association, Kim Hansen, is suggesting that you use sugarless gum and drink lots of water to keep your teeth clean and your breath smelling nice and fresh.
So like fucking
News at 25 minutes past every hour on 680 News.
Time now for the Weekend Business Report.
I'm Carl Garnage. Canada's cannabis sector is getting ready to put the new in New Year. With legal weed more than a year old, the country is turning its attention to Cannabis 2.0, a full year of next-gen pot products, which will include edibles, beverages, and vapes. And as more Canadians take a stroll down to their local pod shops, Greg Engels, CEO at Organigram Holdings, says it's going to be an exciting time for the industry.
Maybe in the future, after they've made purchases, they've had that experience, they know what the products are, they're going to lean more towards online sales as they kind of have familiarity. And this is going to also be true as the 2.0 products come out. I think the other key thing as we look ahead to 2020, looking for consumers to understand more about the products and kind of the effects and the offerings and what's there. And I think that's been a challenge with the marketing restrictions.
As we prepare for a variety of new products to hit the market, Engels says differentiation is going to be crucial in 2020.
When consumers are facing a choice of which chocolate do I want to get, which beverage am I looking for, or vaporizable product, like really understanding the differences and why choose one product over the others in terms of, understanding the consumer needs and what they're looking for, it's much more extensive than we're doing flour, because to some degree, a lot of flour products can be or may be seen as interchangeable, even though experience is different. With all of these products, there is going to be more kind of brand development where the experience is going to be different, the flavor profile is going to be different. So having that ability to differentiate yourselves allows companies to create a brand.
He added it could be a tough year for cannabis producers, but we could see more separation.
In the early days, it was more, everybody kind of was caught up in the excitement around cannabis industry, but now there's more of a focus of, companies, can they differentiate themselves? Does a company produce at low cost? What are their margins? More traditional metrics that people are looking for. As some of the smaller kind of mid-sized companies struggle to kind of compete with the larger companies or the companies that have differentiated products.
Greg Engel is the CEO at Organigram Holdings. At the Business Center,
Holdings.
I'm Carl Garnage.
Hey, Nissan. Now, I may have overindulged on the sweets this holiday season, but I think I have room for one more treat.
That's perfect, because we've got a real treat for you this Boxing Week. Right now on select models like Rogue, Qashqai, or Kicks, get an additional $1,000 bonus cash. It's like having your cake and eating it too.
Please, no more cake. I can't.
Get your sweet Boxing Week bonus by January 2nd. Visit choosnissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. Conditions apply.
I'm going to do this again. This time
First,
you're
your
going to work.
disability insurer denies your long-term disability claim, and then your employer threatens to fire you if you don't return to work. Sound familiar?
My name is Aaron Waxman, and if your disability insured denies your disability claim for any reason, or if your employer threatens to fire you because you're too sick to work, call me at 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, we only get paid when you get paid. And before you call, you should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878, or on your cell phone at pound LTD.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by Walmart.
Walmart is opening all checkouts from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. now until Christmas. Save time on your holiday shop as you check out Walmart's unbeatable low prices.
Winnipeg, partly cloudy, -5. St. John's, clear, -4. Right now downtown, much better, clear, 6 degrees, feeling like 2. 680 News Time, 3:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Cam Dorrit and Asher Roth.
Good afternoon. This is Sunday, 22nd of December.
Here's what's making news this hour.
An environmentalist group dumps manure in front of Doug Ford's constituency office, saying they are done being polite.
Breaking news from police who say a person has been rushed to hospital with serious injuries after an assault near Harvard and Bathurst this afternoon.
Winter is here. So is a warm-up. Temperatures well above average for the first few days of the season, and Christmas is looking green.
Food, family, friends, and food. Wait, did I say that already? The first night of Hanukkah gets underway with celebrations happening in Toronto.
The Raptors trying to keep their win streak going. They're just getting started at home against Dallas, and there are 7 games now in the NFL. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, it was unexpected, a year-end bonus. Now, what do you do with it?
680 News Time, 3:31. Dr. Traffic and Weather, together on the one. Here's Christine Lycos.
This report is brought to you by Cars for Kids on the westbound 407 approaching Bathurst. We had emergency crews on the scene of a vehicle fire. The left lane was blocked off in that area, so just expected a minor delay. It looks like it's still from Bathurst to just to west of it, so just be aware of that. It's actually between Yonge and Bathurst is where it is, westbound 407. On the westbound 401, it's slow from Brock Street to west of the 412 through Kennedy and the Collectors. From the 404 Express approaching Bayview Collectors to Avenue Road. Past that westbound 401 is heavy from Kipling to Dixon, approaching here Ontario Collectors to west of Mavis. You'll find it slow on the eastbound 401 from Mississauga Road to Mavis, from the 427 over to the 400, alternately Express and Collectors, and there's a slight delay through Salem as well. On the northbound Don Valley Parkway, it's filling in from north of Don Mills to York Mills. Southbound 404 Don Valley is heavy, approaching Shepherd to south of Lawrence. We had problems very briefly south of York Mills. They've been cleared away, so there's some good news. On the westbound Gardner, it's heavy going from the Don Valley Parkway to Cherry and from Strawn to west of Jameson. Continue slow on the westbound QEW 427 to west of Cawthra, Ford Drive to Trafalgar and through Appleby. Eastbound QE Gardner, delays approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, Humber Bridge off and on to Dufferin, and north and southbound Victoria Park south of Eglinton. We had lanes blocked here because of a vehicle which had gone into a pole. Cars for Kids reminds you that time is running out to donate your car for 2019. Call 877 Cars for Kids today, or go to carsforkids.ca to schedule a free pickup. Your next report is at 3:41, and now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
And it's just a gorgeous day to welcome in the season. High pressure bringing us sunshine. The southwest wind, that's what's bringing us the warmth, drawing in mild air, and that's why we're well above our seasonal daytime high of 0. If you like it warm, you're going to love tomorrow, Monday, 8 degrees and sunshine. Currently under clear skies, it's 6 degrees at Pearson, 7 downtown, and today's guaranteed high is 5 degrees.
680 News Time, 3:33.
Sitting there delivering a message that the province's plan to tackle climate change is, quote, total crap. An activist group has turned that metaphor into reality, dumping a pile of manure outside the Premier's office in Etobicoke. 680's Jordan Reed spoke with a representative from the group and joins us with more.
It happened about 9 a.m. Cameron Top, along with his accomplice from Extinction Rebellion, drove to a local farm, purchased manure, and dumped it.
Paid for it.
People are no longer
Valuable product.
about it.
You can catch a video on Twitter of Top shoveling the waste from a truck, or go to 680 News' website for pictures. There you can see a sign that reads, quote, Ford's climate change is bull, *****, quote. Now, Top said the group exists across Canada and will continue the manure movement if necessary.
We are extremely
We're going to continue the manure
the lack
movement.
of
That's
action. Their climate
interesting
program,
choice of words.
it's been clearly
be criticized by
Toronto,
the
everybody's throwing shit.
He also considers this to be a non-violent protest and even calls it a light-hearted parade. I'm Jordan Reed.
680 News Time, 3:34. This is into 680 News. A car has crashed into a pole in Victoria Park in Halswade Road at the intersection. Toronto police are investigating. Injuries have not been reported as of yet. Stay with 680 News for the latest on this.
People hate things that don't move.
680 News Time, 3:35. Breaking news from the Bathurst and Bloor area, where an assault just west of U of T's St. George campus has sent a person to hospital with serious injuries. We don't know much about what led to the assaults. One person is in custody. They have yet to be charged. The investigation's ongoing. Stay with 680 News for more on this developing story. And two men have been arrested after crashing their car into a tree near Winston Churchill and Derry Road. The two men, who were described as white between the ages of 18 and 20, last seen running away from the crash. Police are still investigating. Anyone with information is being asked to come forward. Man in his 70s was rushed to hospital after being struck by a TTC streetcar near Parkdale. It happened just after 11 this morning on Queen Street west of Dunn Avenue, just east of Lansdowne. Police say the man's injuries are serious but non-life-threatening. He was riding a motor scooter at the time that he was struck. Queen Street was closed between Dunn and Lansdowne. It has since reopened. 680 News Time, 3:36. Police now investigating after shots rang out in East York last night. Two men in hospital. 680's Leah Johansson has the details.
Two men are recovering in a trauma center this morning with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Officers were called after reports of a shooting just before 8:30 last night in the Thorncliffe Park Drive and Overlea Boulevard area. Witnesses described several people running from the scene shortly after the shooting. Constable Edward Park says police are asking anyone with information to come forward.
There is no possible updates on suspects at this time.
Police appear to be focusing their investigation on the parking garage of a building in that area, but at this time it's unclear exactly where the shooting took place. I'm Leah Johansson.
680 News Time, 3:36. Police are searching for a suspect after a woman was sexually assaulted at knife point. Investigators say they were called to the Sherbourne and Dundas area just after 4:30 on Saturday morning. A 22-year-old woman reportedly was approached by a man who tried to rob her. He then forced her into an alley where she was sexually assaulted. You can find the description of the suspect at 680news.com. Police say he is considered to be armed and dangerous. 680 News Time, 3:37. The first full day of winter is here, but it's doing its best impression of spring. 680's Michelle Mackey has more on the mild start to the new season.
High pressure and a gusty southwest wind drawing in mild air, and it sticks around through Monday, warming up to 8 degrees. As we look ahead to Christmas Eve Day, great traveling conditions both on the roads and in the sky for Santa Claus, with a high of 2 degrees and dry weather. But it does mean Christmas is looking green in the GTA. And did you know there's a very specific definition for a white Christmas? Environment Canada defines it as at least 2 centimeters of snow on the ground at 7 a.m. Christmas morning. There's also
the government spent money to fucking come up with that.
Same parameters, but not only do you have 2 centimeters of snow on the ground, you also have snow in the air or snow falling at 7 a.m. I'm Michelle Mackey.
This is 680 News at 3:38. Family, friends, songs, and food. That's what the Jewish community will be looking forward to for the next 8 days, starting at sundown as Hanukkah gets underway. 680 Zach Bodenstein has more on a couple of events happening across the city to celebrate.
If you're celebrating, you're probably eating a ton of food tonight, including donuts. But in between stuffing yourself, there are 2 separate Hanukkah events happening in the city. A giant 13-foot menorah lighting at Mel Lastman Square at 6 p.m. and more happening south in Yorkville, where an interactive arts installation will be on display. Meyer Dabrowski is the rabbi at the Yorkville Jewish Center.
We are going to be launching tonight the Pillars of Light project, and that is with the message being adding light into the world. We wanted to take that to the next level with offering students from over 25 schools from across the GTA of all faiths and backgrounds an opportunity of how they could bring light and goodness into the world this Hanukkah.
The project, now in its 2nd year, has gained tons of traction, expanding to parts in the United States and Europe next year. I'm Zach Bodenstein.
Coming up, we will check the price of gas. 680 news time, 3:39.
At Rogers, a new year means new possibilities for your business. When you choose business-grade internet solutions, keep your internet constantly connected with our wireless LTE backup network. And for a limited time, get Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit.
You mean backup network? Wait, what are you talking about?
$19.99 a month on a 3-year term. Don't miss out. Call 1-866-ROGERS-6.
We make up these terms as we go.
Internet for biz. Rogers, make more for your business possible.
You can make more.
Time now for the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will stay the same at midnight, only at $1.18.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather to get on the ones. 680 News time, 3:40.
Calling all CAA members. You can earn 20% more Petro points when you link your Petro points card to your CAA membership card. Don't forget, you can also exchange your Petro points for CAA dollars, which can be redeemed towards your CAA membership renewal, gifting a membership, booking a vacation with CAA travel, purchasing movie and attraction tickets, and more. Visit caasco.com/PetroPoints and start earning more today.
Pumpernickel's.
Hi, my boss needs a caterer for the team meeting.
Well, we do breakfast, lunch, sandwiches, wraps, hors d'oeuvres, coffee, sweets, sweets, desserts, and
platters?
Yep, deli, veggie, cheesy, fruity, caprese, breads and spreads, falafel, and
What about salad?
rainbow cob, kale, Caesar, Greek, pasta and veg, tabbouleh, couscous, and
Impressive.
thanks.
Pumpernickel's, 13 restaurants across the GTA and catering everywhere. See the menu now at pumpernickels.ca, where good food is plentiful.
News time, 3:41. Time for traffic and weather together on the one. Start with traffic. Here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Nissan Canada. On the westbound 407 approaching Bathurst, we have the remains of a vehicle fire blocking the left lane, so it's slow from Yonge to just approaching Bathurst on the westbound 407. Eastbound 401 delays from Mississauga Road to Mavis, 427 to the 400 Express
Does it not sound like they just let it
east of
burn?
Salem as well. Westbound 401 busy from Brock Street to west of the 412, and we have delays across the GTA, but nothing unusual spotted. Northbound John Valley Parkway slows north of Don Mills to York Mills, and on the southbound 404 over the 401, I'm hearing from a traffic spotter that the right lane is blocked with a stalled vehicle. So expect delays on the southbound 404 Don Valley from approaching Shepherd to south of Lawrence. Just checking it out on our cameras right now. Westbound Gardner Queenie delays DVP to Cherry, approaching Bathurst to west of Jameson, and it continues slow on the westbound Queen Elizabeth Way from the 427 to west of Copra, Ford Drive to Trafalgar. It's busy on the eastbound Huey Gardner from approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, approaching the Humber Bridge in towards Dufferin. We had a collision affecting north and southbound Victoria Park at Hallswade, which is south of Eglinton. A vehicle had gone into a pole, and Finch west of Weston at Jaysdale Drive. We had a collision blocking lanes here as well. Boxing Week is on at Nissan. Get an additional $1,000 bonus cash on select models now until January 2nd. Visit choosenissan.ca. Your next report is at 3:51, and now with the forecast, here is Michelle Mackey.
Christine, about an hour left to sunset, so get out and enjoy the sun while you can because it is beautiful. It is a mild first full day of winter. Gusty southwest wind, though, gusting 30 to 40 kilometers an hour, but hey, it's responsible for the warmth, so I will take it. And Monday's forecast, we climb even higher, 8 degrees and sunshine. 0 is where we should be for this time of year. Closer to seasonal Christmas Eve day, we drop down to 2 degrees and dry weather, so great traveling conditions. Currently, under sunny skies, 7 degrees over at Pearson, 6 downtown, and today's guaranteed high is 5 degrees.
680 news time, 3:43. Search and rescue teams are descending on Stewartson Inlet. It's on the west side of Vancouver Island after a plane crash was discovered there this morning. News 1130's Tarji Palmer reports it's still unclear if anyone was killed in the crash.
According to Major Sandy Thorne with the Joint Rescue Coordination Center, the plane was headed for Tofino yesterday, but never arrived. The overdue flight triggered a search, but low visibility prevented them from being able to dispatch planes or rescue teams.
We dispatched a few planes yesterday. The Royal Canadian Air Force and the Coast Guard and such were involved, just looking into whether or not there was something going on. Tonight the visibility was bad, so they started in this morning and actually found the crash site.
It's still not clear what type of plane was involved in this crash, how many people were on board, or if there were any fatalities. I'm Tarji Parmar.
680 news time, 3:44.
Some savings are too big to fit into Fox, like Sunwing's Foxy Week sale, where you can save up to 40% on all-inclusive vacations at top-rated resorts. Save big now, so this winter you can vacation better with our best price guarantee. But hurry, Foxy Week deals this hot will be flying off the shelf. Book by December 27th with your travel agent or Sunwing.ca.
Me and this F-150, we are in it for the long haul.
Oh yeah? What about costs like insurance, maintenance, fuel?
No problem. We just won an award for lowest cost of home in its class, 5th year in a row.
Wow, sounds like you really love your truck.
Yeah.
Get the Ford F-150, the truck with the Vincentric Award for lowest cost to own in its class. Now during the Ford year-end event, get up to $10,500 in rebates on select new 2019 F-150 models. Get the truck that's built for the long haul. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
4 degrees and clear skies. A beautiful December day. Good afternoon. From the 680 News Broadcasting Center in downtown Toronto, I'm Cam Dorr. Here's what's making news this hour. The Premier's constituency office in Etobicoke gets an unwelcome Christmas
story
gift
we
this morning.
have
Climate
is
activists
cow
bring a
shit.
pickup truck to the office and then shovel out manure right onto the ground. The climate activist Cameron Topp, who's with the group Extinction Rebellion, says it's to protest the government's climate policies. We have breaking news from Western Canada in British Columbia. A plane crash has been discovered this morning on the west side of Vancouver Island. It's still unclear if anyone was killed in the crash or how it happened. We'll get more from Tarji Parmar coming up at 4 o'clock. And coming up after sports, Food Bites, the Bros Reisman, 680 News Sound 345. And time now for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590. The Fan. The Raps are playing, Brad. How's it going?
Yes, they are. Good start for those Raptors, scoring the first 5 points of the game at home to lead Dallas. You can watch on Sportsnet 1 or listen on Sportsnet 590. The Fan. The Raptors are looking for their 5th straight win. A few games are close in the NFL's early slate. The Ravens lead the Browns 24-15. The Saints have a 31-21 lead on the Titans, while the Jets are up 6 on Pittsburgh, leading them 16-10. 4 more games get going in the 4 o'clock hour. 1 game complete on the ice. The Rangers hammer the Ducks 5-1. That's the first of 4 today. Leafs back at it tomorrow for a 2 o'clock face-off with Carolina. Well, the Blue Jays signed Travis Shaw to a 1-year deal. He plays mostly third base, but has also played first and second in the past. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home and Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan. 680 News Time 347.
At Rogers, a new year means new possibilities for your business. When you choose business-grade wireless solutions, right now, get iPhone XR 64 gig, featuring a 6.1-inch liquid retina LCD display for just $0 on a 3-year business share plan. With Rogers, you get the technology, expertise, and support your business deserves. Don't miss out. Visit rogers.com/plans-for-biz now. Rogers, make doing business on the go possible.
You can make more.
Joker, a meteor set to collide with our west coast in mere minutes. What do we do? Not to worry, Governor. I will simply fly around the Earth fast enough to reverse our polarity and turn back time. Joker away. You've only taken 3 steps. Here I go. You're basically standing still. Can the Toka help innocent citizens breathe easier? Probably not. Find out why at thetokaonline.ca.
680 News Time.
That's the only reason I can breathe. I think that was targeted at me.
Food and nutrition expert.
Some quick advice on how to avoid excess weight gain during holidays. Start your day with a healthy breakfast such as oatmeal, eggs, or a protein smoothie to avoid excess hunger and unnecessary indulgences. Include healthy snacks during the day, nut
I'll
butter,
just put
hummus,
some more sugar in my
crackers.
coffee.
Watch those never-ending buffets or all-you-can-eat spots. Start your plate with salad or veggies, lean protein, then small amounts of your favorite indulgences. Watch your drinking, including alcohol, juice, and sodas.
What you're drinking.
Very high in calories. Enjoy dessert with a 3-bite rule. Don't bank your calories avoiding food all day for a binge later. The next morning, no matter how you feel, eat a good breakfast to get you back on track. And don't forget to move.
No matter
Exercise
how you
allows more
feel.
calorie intake. With Food Bites,
Oh,
I'm
dear.
Rose Reisman.
680
I
News
don't think we're
Time
celebrating the
349.
holidays
The
the
Force
same way.
strong at the box office this weekend.
The Force will be with you. There was never any question that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker's opening would dominate the box office. Only by how much? It earned at least $179 million over the weekend. That's on the lower end of expectations, but the final chapter of the Skywalker saga still scored the third best December opening ever. Here we go! Only $6.5 million for the critically savaged Cats, a third of what was forecast, making it the year's final flop. Christopher Watson, ABC News.
Eddie Murphy made a historic return to Saturday Night Live last night.
A beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Could you be mine? Would you be mine?
The comedian, who was a cast member from 1980 to 1984, brought back some of his classic characters, including Mr. Robinson, Buckwheat, and Gumby. They also brought some friends with them. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Tracy Morgan made surprise appearances in the opening monologue.
I'm glad we're all here to support me, and I really appreciate your being.
It's the least we can do, man.
That's right. I mean, when I got hired, Lord told me, you're going to be the next Eddie Murphy. And then a year later, he said, no, you're not.
It was Murphy's first time on the show in 35 years. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the one. 680 News Time, 3:50.
This Christmas morning, log on to AaronwoodFord.com for this year's best gift. Aaronwood's famous Boxing Week blitz is coming. Huge inventory, no admit fees, amazing year-end prices. Plus, up to $2,000 in Aaronwood bonus bucks on every vehicle at AaronwoodFord.com. Buy your car online today. Aaronwood Ford. The easy way. Aaronwood's famous Boxing Week blitz is coming, everyone. Free shop at AaronwoodFord.com. Sale starts Boxing Day at 9 a.m.
Keep on rocking at Casino Rama Resort with these great shows. Rocking the new year with Colin James on December 31st. Honeymoon Suite and Prism perform on February 28th. Chilliwack and Streetheart on March 13th. Melissa Etheridge, The Medicine Show Tour is coming on April 17th. Local legend Gordon Lightfoot returns on April 18th. And don't miss Ringo Starr in his All-Star Band May 29th and 30th. Buy tickets now at Ticketmaster and check out full concert listings at CasinoRama.com.
51 time traffic and weather together on the one. Christy Munger.
And this report is brought to you by City TV. Heading into downtown, you'll find delays on the eastbound Huey Gardner from approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, approaching the Humber Bridge to Dufferin, and heading out westbound Gardner is slow from the DVP to Cherry, approaching Bathurst to west of Jameson, westbound Queen Elizabeth Way, a delay from the 427 west of Coffer from Ford Drive to Trafalgar. At last check, we had a stalled vehicle southbound on the 404 over the 401, blocking the right lane. Can't spot it here any longer, but it is busy south on the 404 Don Valley, approaching Shepherd to south of Lawrence. At the bottom end of the southbound 400, you'll find delays as you head on to the eastbound 401 ramp. Northbound Don Valley Parkway remains slow going anywhere from approaching Eglinton up towards York Mills, and that's just due to volume of traffic. If you're traveling on the westbound 407, just heads up as you approach Bathurst. We have the left lane blocked off for vehicle fire cleanup. Now the fire is out, but there's still a minor delay. Westbound 401 is slow down 404 Express, approaching Bayview Collectors to Avenue Road, approaching Islington Express to Dixon, approaching here Ontario Collectors to west of Mavis. On the eastbound 401, delays from Mississauga Road to Mavis, from the 427 to the 400, alternately Express and Collectors. Looks pretty good through Kiel right now. At Finch west of West and at Jaysell Drive, we had a collision blocking lanes here. And north and south on Victoria Park, south of Eglinton at Halswade, we had a vehicle go into a pole, so we have lanes affected here as well. Get the latest news affecting our community every night on City News at 6 and 11, only on City TV. Your next report is at 4:01. And now with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
High pressure and a southwest wind, bringing us sunshine and mild temperatures today. And if you like the mild air, you are going to love Monday. Hopefully you have the day off. 8 degrees and sunshine in the forecast. Great travel conditions for you and Santa Claus. Christmas Eve day, a high of 2 degrees and dry. And for Christmas, the forecast we've all been waiting for, cloudy and 5 degrees. So it won't be a white Christmas, but on the positive side, great driving weather. Currently under sunny skies, 7 degrees at Pearson, 6 downtown. Today's guaranteed high is 5 degrees.
Coming up at 4 o'clock, the latest on an early Christmas gift, if you can call it that, for the premier. A group of climate activist extremists called Extinction Rebellion Took a pickup truck to Doug Ford's office in Etobicoke and dumped manure on it to protest his climate change policies. We'll have that and more coming up at 4 o'clock. 680 News Time, 3:53.
The holidays are here, and it's time to get yourself all the seasonal Subaru classics, like or this old chestnut. Or who could forget this classic? Visit your Subaru dealer for a $500 holiday bonus at the My Subaru Gave to Me holiday event.
Paul Cook and Catherine Chete.
You got fucking nothing.
Starting at 5:30.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News. Drivers this